Bink is in studio with me today. And how many of these guys are you expecting? I think we all recognize, okay, Mansour Delane, you trade up, you draft him at 6. He's a starter day one. Hopefully he's a top 10 corner in football essentially day one. I mean, that's the expectation for him right away. But how many other guys they drafted do you think, I'm not even saying 26, by 2027 are starters on this team that they drafted this year?
Delane for sure. That's the who says the Sharpie? Seth Davis, the Sharpie.
Yeah.
It's Delane. Delane's 100% going to be a starter. Anybody in the top 10 that you drafted should be a starter, 100%. And really the first round, Peter Woods, again, they do so much rotation on the defensive line. So it's hard to say, Peter Woods going to be a starter going forward. 27, will he get a majority of the snaps? Yeah, I believe that. Or Mason Thomas, you're going to be in the rotation with Ashton Gelati. Of course, Norman Lott's going to have a say-so with this defensive line as far as timing. Kyrus Tonga is about a 35 to 40% snap guy throughout his career, so expect him not to get a lot more or a lot less than that, so 30 to 40%. But Delane right now, Nussmeier, you won't see the field. I know it's weird when you have a draft pick and you never want to see him. That's the story of the year. Nussmeier, it's nothing against him.
Sure.
But if you draft a quarterback, you never want to see Garrett Nussmeier. So you have a draft pick that you never want to see, which is rare, but you're glad you have him, so to speak. Cyrus Allen's probably going to take a while. I wouldn't expect. Now, can he make this roster? I think there's 3 to 4 locks. But there's a lot of competition for about 3 more spots with the Kansas City Chiefs. That's going to be an active competition at the back end.
That's the old special teams conversation, and how much is Cyrus Allen able to contribute on special teams for Dave Toub when you talk about making the roster and all that. We're going to talk wide receivers, I know, in about 25 minutes anyway. And there's 3 or 4 easily locks, I think, in the wide receiver room that you can, as you said, put in Sharpie. And then after that, it's interesting. There's Remigio, of course, part of the conversation as well.
Jason Brownlee.
So we'll get to wide receivers in a bit. But I'm with you for the most part on the starters. I think by 2027, that's why I expanded it beyond 26. By 2027, I do think there is a scenario, if everything went perfect, for R. Mason Thomas to be the starting edge opposite Karlaftis. Not in 2026. I think he's gonna rotate in. Maybe he's listed as a starter in week 1. I don't know, but he's gonna rotate in. I think Gelati's gonna be the week 1 technical starter.
I think Gelati's gonna have a big state. They really like. Keep in mind that was the rookie of the year. That was their Mac Hill rookie of the year was Ashton Gelati because they liked the progress. It was kind of like Xavier Worthy when he was a rookie. That really good at the end of the year, not so good at the beginning. Had to get acclimated to the NFL. But that's the thing with Gelati. They actually really like him too. So always keep that in mind of how much they like that guy. It's not like R. Mason's in there and you're not going to see Ashton Gelati. It's still going to be heavy Ashton Gelati.
Oh, absolutely. He needs to be part of the plan. I think it's going to be a full-blown rotation this year. I just wonder if R. Mason Thomas ends up being what you hope he is, and I get your point about where Gelati is at. He has a chance out of the group in 2027 to join Mansour Delane as a starter. So not in his rookie year, but by year 2, I could see, of course, Delane still being the starter. I could see R. Mason Thomas Jr. being the starter. There's no scenario. There's no scenario in 27 that Emmett Johnson is starting, Cyrus Allen or any of the other picks. The corner,
Kennedy,
he's a nickel guy.
It depends
though,
on
right?
what formation you're in. If you're in nickel, I could see him doing it. They bring in Kohu from the Dolphins this year, but Kennedy's going to get a lot of run. When you think about snap counts, when you look back at it on the year, it's going to be Delane, and Kennedy's probably going to be a top 3 snap guy for the Chiefs as far as the rookie class is concerned.
Because I do think Thomas and Woods will just be rotational guys in year 1.
And Kennedy will play safety too. Sometimes he'll be in the nickel. He'll play safety. The guy's kind of like Honey Badger light. So you're going to see him in different formations with the Chiefs defense. They like him a lot.
Someone on the text line says, can't the Chiefs get out of Chris Jones' contract after next year? In that case, you need Woods to step in as a starter. I think there's a scenario in 27 where he's a starter, but Tonga will be under contract. Chris Jones is under contract. We went through Chris's contract yesterday on the show, and if things don't go well this year, then they could technically get out after 26. It's a $19 million dead cap hit. Bink, are you on your laptop over there? That happened again.
Laptop.
Drew's pointing. Drew immediately pointed at you. All I know is I was mid-sentence and I heard a Nebraska furniture
There is
mart
nothing
commercial.
on over on my end. Nothing.
I have nothing up but the text line.
No, I believe Drew on this. This happens every time you fill in, Bink. I believe Drew on this. He pointed at you right away. He pointed at you immediately.
Because you guys don't know how to turn the audio off.
Oh, no. You're on Bob's computer over there, right?
Yeah.
Are you blaming Bob?
I had it fixed before. No, because it always goes back. So.
Drew and me, because as soon as it happened, of course, I look over at Drew like, what are we doing? And he points at you.
I have nothing up on my computer.
No, it's best just to always turn volume off. There you go.
I forgot, Bink, you always browse the internet over there. I just have the audio page up. And that's
all it takes is popping on ESPN one time and the ad automatically plays. Yeah.
ESPN's the worst.
Was that what site were you trying to get to?
I think it was ESPN.
What were you trying to look up?
It just popped on. I was like, whoa, what are you doing? I was on the NFL page.
What are you looking at over there?
Nothing.
I'm glad you're on ESPN, Bink.
It's the rundown, actually.
Okay. Anyway, where were we? Chris Jones. Yeah, I think there's a scenario financially where they could, but that's still a massive cap hit, of dead cap to move on from. Peter Woods feels like, I think Drew said it actually yesterday, where your hope is actually by 2028, he can be the guy in the middle. Because this year, he's going to rotate in, and you have Tonga, you have Chris Jones. Next year, you might have the same group, but the following year is when Chris Jones, there's a good chance maybe he's not around in 28. Tonga, I don't think his contract is beyond 27. So that's when Peter Woods or whoever else they draft will be asked to step in.
And there was a lot of talk of where he's going to play. 3 techniques, kind of his ideal spot. But they asked him several questions about nose. Can he play nose? When they're talking to Mike Bradway and stuff with the Chiefs, when people were asking him questions about where he could play, nose was still a possibility, even though Kyrus Tonga, but obviously that's your nose tackle there that's coming in. But don't forget, back at Clemson, he actually started at defensive end as well. He had like 7 starts at defensive end. It's a very versatile defensive lineman.
Which guy do you think they're getting, though, at Peter Woods? Because you're right. He's a different player. Senior year.
But they want Chris Jones, which means outside and inside, because Chris Jones plays the outside. Inside, of course.
A year ago, Peter Woods was a different player, different weight and everything. Production was better.
All of Clemson was. It was really weird what happened there because Cade Klubnik came down, TJ Parker came down, Peter Woods came down from where they were projected. We're talking a lot of top 10 picks between those guys. And Clemson had 9 guys drafted. Blake Miller was the only one of the bunch that rose because he went to 17th to the Detroit Lions. He's really the only one because all those guys look to be going higher than Blake Miller did. But all of a sudden, towards the end of the year, they all kind of fell. I don't know this was a playoff team 2 years ago. I can't really explain why everybody kind of regressed, but they still did have 9 draft picks, the third most in the NFL draft with Clemson with 9.
We all knew they needed to get help on the defensive line. Maybe thought they were going to take an edge earlier. They, of course, did not take one until R. Mason Thomas in round number 2. But based on their 2 biggest defensive line additions outside of Thomas, Tonga and now Peter Woods, was that because of run defense? Was that because Chris Jones was telling everybody he was exhausted at the end of the Jags game when he stood up? No, I mean, seriously. I mean,
no, you're right.
Is it because...
Where's my help at?
Do you think this was about also keeping Chris Jones fresh? Or was it just, no, we were bad interior, bad against the run in that particular spot, and also we hope it'll help out our edges?
Just getting that depth they need to keep guys fresh. I mean, that's ultimately what they want to do. Just keep substituting in, keeping guys fresh. So you don't have guys, in situations where they're not going after the quarterback because they're fresh. They're not fighting double teams the whole game, so it's starting to wear them out, especially at that age. Especially when you get over 30 years old, your age on getting, double teamed and finding the depth. And they did. But keep this in mind. Despite all that, the Chiefs still number 10 in the National Football League in defense, 6th in scoring defense. So he said with this draft, and they did lose some good pieces. I get that. But you replaced them with good pieces too. But you spent your draft basically on defense early on. So that's the bar. The bar is the 6th best scoring defense, 10th best defense. That's what you put your bar at. If you slip back to 15th in defense, you slip back from 6th to 10th in scoring defense, that's not good. You need to stay where they're at or get better than that because the bar's been set. Because last year you were a top 10 defense. So with your draft pick and your draft capital spent on defense, you need to stay there or better.
Yeah, we had the conversation, I think yesterday, all 3 of us, or maybe 2 days ago, the days are running together, about just the expectations for particular units, right? Offense and defense. And my only hesitation on not having the expectation for the defense being, top 5 or something. I think Cody said top 5. I said the defense needs to be like the 8th best defense in football, is only because I still don't know where they are getting the consistent pressure or more importantly with the sacks from.
Because it's still
Karlaftis is one thing, but yeah, the other side is still like I like the pick of Thomas, but he's rotating in, as we said, with Gelati, who is still unproven, with Omar Norman Lott still unproven. Do they have potential there? Of course they have potential. I think they're a better position to have some breakout guys this year than they were a year ago. But I don't know how I can have the expectation as a top 5 defense when we all acknowledge we still don't know really where the sacks are coming from on this team.
Omar Nummerlot should help. That's why he was drafted in the second round. Because he led all defensive tackles in pressure when he was at Tennessee when they drafted him in the second round. So having him back healthy, that'll be huge. And being able to rotate R. Mason Thomas in with Gelati and, Karlaftis hopefully taking that next step, they should be better than that. Now, you miss a guy like Leo because he was everywhere. Yeah, you don't have McDuffie and Jalen Watson. That's a wash. To bring in Delane and Kennedy, to me, that's a wash. If not better, with the corners they're getting. Yeah. We'll see. We're talking about an all-pro. I think that McDuffie did take a step back last year. I do. I think he was much better the first 2 years he was with the Chiefs. Don't you? You think I think everybody kind of regressed a little bit.
I think the entire team clearly regressed.
Jalen Watson clearly did.
I think the entire team regressed last year.
And he played a lot better than a 7th-round pick. There's no question about that.
I think McDuffie's phenomenal. I'm also very excited, though, about Delane. I think there's a real chance by the end of next season we're saying, all right, that drop-off, that gap between McDuffie and him is not that large. I think that – and by the way, talking about expectations, throughout Delane's career, the gap cannot be large. It needs to either be the same or better when you spend a 6th overall pick on a corner and gave up assets to trade up. And it wasn't just staying there. We all know they moved up 3 spots. So
it was about speed. This draft was about speed.
Oh, yeah. They got quicker.
It was about speed all the way around. Even Peter Woods, 300-pounder, runs a 4.91. I mean, that's insanity how fast he is for the size he is.
They thought they were slow, unathletic defense.
Well, they got a lot faster. That was the name of the game because it was all about speed with this team.
Coming up at 10:30, we'll talk more about the wide receivers. We'll flip over to the offensive side a little bit more. And a scenario that you brought up I think is interesting. I thought this wouldn't happen until 2027, but you think there's still a chance it happens the rest of this offseason. We'll get to that in just a bit. But let's talk some Royals baseball. And don't forget, this year we've partnered with KCUC, who's donating $50 to the Prostate Cancer Foundation. For every home run the boys in blue hit this season, 1 in 8 men will face prostate cancer, though. Early detection saves lives. And at KCUC, Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team, you see the best in KC. Scheduled today at kcuc.com. So the Royals' 4-game winning streak snapped yesterday. Still a chance to win this series against the A's coming up this afternoon. Again, a little after 2 o'clock. Vern's on deck show is at 1. We'll hand things off to him then. I kind of just want to see how they bounce back after a loss because we know they've been playing better baseball. They had won 5 of 6 entering yesterday. They've still won 5 of 7. You'll take that every single time. If they lose today, does the series kill the momentum and all of a sudden the path to salvaging April? Because we've discussed that as bad as it's been, you win this series against the A's, or if you would have been able to sweep, all of a sudden you end up having a very manageable recovery from that. But very quickly, you lose today, Bink. You've lost 2 in a row, and because of the hole you dug yourselves, it feels like you kind of killed a lot of the momentum. Where are you at in your belief with the team right now? Because I think this is a big game today, only because you just want to see how do they now bounce back after a loss, or if it becomes 2 losses tomorrow night, how do they bounce back after a 2-game losing streak?
Well, you go from a sweep over the Angels to winning a series against the A's. That's huge. I don't care. The Angels were crap. I mean, that team's not good. We saw that, but I don't care. They swept them. But to win 2 out of 3, because the A's are actually a good
first place in the AL West.
A's are a good team. This division is manageable. Cleveland leads this division with a 500 record. Everybody else has a sub-500 record. Detroit, 1 game under 500. The White Sox, 3 games under 500. Twins, 5 games under 500. Royals, 6 games under 500. There's not a lot of separation. Had they won yesterday, 3 games separation between the Royals in first place. That's the good news, is no one's really running away with this division. But you go out and win 2 of 3 from the A's, and the A's are a good team. Don't forget, that was the team that came in last year and swept them at Kauffman. It's like, whoa, what's going on here when the A's did that? But you go out and beat the A's 2 out of 3. That's good for the Kansas City Royals. I don't care how they do it. I don't care if it's 1 run, 2 runs, whatever it is. Find a way to beat the A's before you go into Seattle.
Noah Cameron, by the way, gets the nod today. He will be on the bump at 2:05 this afternoon. See if he can also bounce back a little bit. His ERA up to a little over 5 after his last outing. But, I mean, there's just a huge – it seems so obvious, but there's a huge difference between all of a sudden being, 13 and 18 and you're still sitting 5 back, and all of a sudden I tell you they're 12 and 19, and it feels like some of the momentum gets killed. That's why today feels big.
Yeah, all that goodwill, because there was a lot of goodwill when you sweep the Angels, right, and the way they did it. Especially that big comeback that they had. They showed they could do that again, and that was something to see. But that goodwill starts running away because everybody's feeling good about winning 3, then winning that first game against the A's. but then you go out and lose 2 out of 3, that comes right back, and you don't feel like you're taking that step forward. Like if they win today, they feel like that step forward has been taken.
Right. And I understand they're going to lose games, right? They had won 4 in a row. I did not think they were going to win 20 games in a row. So this is not me saying, oh my gosh, how dare they lose yesterday? It's just what we're kind of saying is how do you bounce back from that? Because it does feel like they had turned the corner a little bit in the Angels series. And, you got the Mariners coming up this weekend. The Mariners are a very good team. And then a big homestand next week. Guardians for 4.
First place team.
And then the Tigers for 3. And it's just, who knows how the weekend series will go, but feels like you need to take advantage of where you're at in this series.
You could actually be in first place if things go your way.
You could be. But not if you.
But you have work to do.
Not if you drop today and you go into a Mariners series.
Again, that's assuming a lot because nobody calls for sweeps in baseball because it doesn't happen very often.
So I just think today's significant to see how they bounce back. All of a sudden, you won 5 of 6, and then do you lose 2 in a row? And then there's a lot of pressure going into the Mariners series over the weekend. This is the reality, though, when you had the poor first 2.5, 3 weeks of the season. It sounds so easy, like, oh, you're only 3.5 back in the division, or you're only 5 under 500 or whatever. It is way tougher than it sounds to dig out of. Just the math is really difficult. The pace that you have to play at as the season goes on, if you do not quickly recover from the bad 2 or 3 week start.
Because you're assuming no one else is going to go on a roll. You're assuming Cleveland's not going to stop and go 5 games in a row, or Detroit's going to win 5 games in a row. You remember last year with Cleveland? They surprised Detroit. They were way back.
Yeah.
And they come flying up and actually take the division over Detroit, so you never know what's going to happen. But Cleveland seems to be the most consistent. I don't know how they're doing it.
Cleveland always finds a way, man.
They do.
Pitching.
What do you think of Sacramento? Because Sacramento's in one of the 10 cities that could be relocation. Of course, it'd be very tough for that to happen. The games seem a lot more lively in Sacramento than in Oakland. I know it's a smaller facility and everything. It just seems they're going to be going to Vegas. There's not a lot of to get behind this team at this point, but it just seems different playing there than in Oakland.
Well, yeah. I mean, down the final 5+ years in Oakland, one, they were just playing in a terrible stadium, but also at that point, the team had turned fans off, right? Because it was obvious they did not want to field a competitive team and all that, and so fans wanted to support that team, but they were given no reason to support the team, and so the crowds were pathetic. My thing that I've noticed watching the series, a couple funny moments. One last night. So Michael Walker's pitching, right, and his necklace or whatever chain broke, and he's putting it in his back pocket, and all in one motion. Then he pitches, which was smart on his part, right? And then I think it was the hitting coach was arguing. For the A's, got tossed. We thought it was the manager, but got tossed. And because it's a minor league stadium, the clubhouse is in center field. So basically, the hitting coach had to take like a walk of shame. Like normally, like someone gets thrown out of the game, they just you never see him, right? He gets thrown out if he's in the dugout already, and like they point, you're out. And the guy, if he doesn't come out to argue, he just walks back in the clubhouse, and we never see him. But because the setup there is so bizarre, and it's a minor league park, the hitting coach had to walk from the dugout all the way back out to the outfield. As we all know, he got tossed from the game.
How about the poor EMT that got hit in the junk?
Well, I saw that.
I mean, that was
man. Drew, did you see
that?
that?
Sit down in the dugout. It was so bad.
I did not see that. No,
he took it in the marbles,
the
man.
The video clip is out there. I mean, it was
bad.
Off the bat of Carter Jensen, right?
I mean, I don't know what the exit velocity was, but I think it was around 100.
Right there, Drew.
It's one of those that makes your stomach.
Oh,
they're not wearing a cup.
He immediately sat down the bench in the Royals clubhouse, or in the Royals dugout. Yeah. Oh, he needed an EMT in that moment.
Oh
man, that's tough.
Yeah, I did see that as well.
It was bad because when they play in Oakland, remember they have that huge. Remember how much space there was between the line and the dugout in Oakland, and they're in Oakland, Sacramento, much closer, of course. Yeah, but it was a bad.
I think it's terrible they play at this minor league park. I know why they're getting, as I said yesterday, they're getting ready for the stadium in Vegas. But the fact, like, it goes back to Vinny's injury. Even he had to walk from the dugout all the way out to center field, and there's no way. It's harder to stay loose at that ballpark. I'm just imagine the A's make the playoffs this year. They're in first place right now in the AL West. If the A's make the playoffs, there's going to be a playoff game at a minor league ballpark? That's terrible.
Yeah,
I'm glad the Rays are back to their stadium at the Trop, because playing in 2 minor league stadiums, that was
the Trop looks a little better. Some of the photos I've seen, the new roof, it looks brighter is what it is. It doesn't look like a dark basement anymore.
That place is dumb. I've been to a game there. It's
Have
terrible.
You?
Oh yeah, I've been.
I've never been.
The Trop was a bad.
Drew, you weren't. Or I guess you weren't near Tampa. I'd say
I was in Tampa visiting my sister, but that was Christmas time, so obviously not baseball season.
You made a good decision.
We did not. It
was good timing.
We did not go to St. Pete. Well, I'm going to be there next week, Bink. I'm going. She's graduating.
You going to go to a game?
No, that's not a part of the plans.
That was a quick. Did you look to see if they're in town?
It's
I
far
did
from
not.
PNC.
When are you going? Next Thursday?
I'm going next Thursday and Friday.
let's
I'll be
see.
there.
Are
And
the
Saturday
Rays-
I'll be there.
The Rays, Tampa Bay Rays, next Thursday, Friday.
Are they going to be in St. Pete?
They will not be there.
Okay.
They will be in. They will leave Wednesday, and they are in Boston.
And
So
that's not a
you
bad
couldn't
thing.
go anyway.
It's not a bad thing.
They're leaving, and I'm showing up on Wednesday night.
That's right.
Yeah, I guess it's a good coincidence because I did not. It's weird.
It is a good
It's weird. All of my family's together. My dad is a huge baseball fan. Obviously, played college baseball and everything like that, and never had a mention at all from this trip regarding the Tampa Bay Rays.
The Rays are weird.
Right.
Nobody goes
Well,
to their
look at the
game.
attendance. Yeah, nobody. It's all retirees down there.
But their TV contract is
Especially the-
ridiculous. Their TV contract's even more than the Royals. People watch it, they just don't go. Unless they're playing the Yankees or the Red Sox. And then people.
What was it? A
Sure.
couple years ago, they had that play. As you were saying, there was a playoff game, and it was an
No one-
afternoon game. I understand it was afternoon, but nobody was there.
People watch, though. They do watch the games. They just don't go.
Shout out to the
It's an
Tampa
older.
Bay Rays.
It's an older fan base.
Exactly.
I mean, it
They
really
watch
is.
on TV.
Snowbirds. Yeah.
Good TV product. But yeah, you're probably glad you're not there.
Bink,
It's
Bink,
it's just weird.
are you going to travel down to Florida every so often once you get to retiring and you're just done with everything? No more radio for Bink.
I
or
haven't
anything
thought
like
of that. I haven't thought of that, but
You're just going to go.
that'd be
head on down to
great. I
Florida?
mean, I enjoy it. Florida's fun.
Cody does not like Florida.
It would not be Rays games. I'd go to Marlins games. Stripper, I'd love that.
You don't have to go to Florida for that, Bink.
Well, they do have good ones though.
Turn your
Like
computer
Orlando.
audio off, Bink.
But
Turn
that
it-
wasn't my computer. That was
I
gold.
know. I'm just careful.
That was not my
Careful.
computer.
I don't know
Text line
what.
had fun with
I
that.
don't know what you're looking at over on that
I don't know
computer.
what that was either, man. I'm gonna. You know what? I'm just gonna turn
It's
it
all
off.
PG.
Leave his
I-
computer
no,
off.
No,
is-
you can't.
the audio
I
is-
turned
no.
the audio off the
It's-
computer, so nothing's coming
Leave
out.
his
It- it's
computer.
I
okay.
turned the audio off.
Yeah, just do not have Bink's computer audio on. It should not be allowed at this point.
Yeah.
It's happened every time.
I know.
Every time you filled in.
I just can't handle it.
Up next, let's get back into some Chiefs football, though. The wide receiver grouping, including a scenario that I think is more likely in 27. You think there's still a chance it happens here in 26. We'll get to that. And Live Golf is done.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in for the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day, starting at 11:30 right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi, it's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Whether you're looking for a Bronco, an Explorer, an F-150, or even a commercial vehicle, Robside Ford has the selection.
That's right, Kevin. We've got it all. And we've got the lowest prices in Kansas City. No gimmicks, just great deals on every new Ford.
And it's not just inventory, it's how you do business. Robside Ford makes it very simple.
We do it different on purpose. Non-commissioned sales team, upfront transparent pricing, top dollar trade-in values, and a process that's actually easy.
You've even got the reputation to back it up, Bobby. Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, 3,000 reviews. Wow.
And this year, we're proud to be voted Best Car Dealership in KC by Kansas City Magazine.
So if you're ready for a better car buying experience,
come see us at 135th and State Line or check us out at robsight.com.
From Broncos to F-150s to work trucks, Robside Ford has what you need.
If you want simple and easy, you're not going to find a better spot.
Robside Ford. Buy right. Drive happy.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Hi, I'm Emily, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where fine jewelry is always crafted with care no matter the price. Mother's Day, birthdays and graduations, weddings and anniversaries, the new job you got, and even the one you didn't. Give a birthstone necklace, a heart-shaped locket made in Italy, or high-quality diamond studs you can trade up every year. At Shane Company, we have something for everyone, because a friend wants you to win the gifting game. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's time to spring into deals at Lowe's. Freshen up your yard with Stay Green Premium 2 cubic foot mulch. 5 bags for $10. Then get what you need to keep clothes, food, and dishes fresh with up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an additional $100 on select laundry pairs. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6. Mulch offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Everything you knew about reaching customers online is being rewritten. Time to rethink your approach. Outcomes from Viant finds real customers, not impressions, not clicks, customers. Our AI maximizes every dollar of your budget against the outcomes that matter most and proves it happened. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
Some days, self-care starts with Nature-Made gummy vitamins, a deep breath, and a little encouragement.
Mom, I'm really nervous.
Me too, honey, but we've got this. Repeat after me. I'm gonna have a good day.
I'm going to have a good day.
I choose joy no matter what comes my way.
I bring joy wherever I go.
Quality gummy vitamins from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Royals coverage is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City.
Brought to you by Blue KC is the Coaches with Character program. Do you know a rock star high school coach in your district? Nominate them for the Blue KC Coaches with Character program at bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character. Let's make our coaches feel special and make our community a better place to live, work, and play.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes are released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Just getting started here on a Thursday. Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Drew Nixon with you. Jay Binkley is in for Cody today and tomorrow. Coming up in about 8 minutes, I do want to talk about Live Golf, and it looks like this thing is officially over. And I got some thoughts on what the future of golf is going to be. Drew's got, I think, a couple thoughts on it as well. We all know a couple years ago that was the big story. Live Golf was backed by the Saudi investment fund, and very quickly they realized they were never going to make their money back, and they were never going to make any money. And essentially, Live Golf is toast. It's done. But there's of course golfers that were willing to leave, and now what do you do with those golfers? We'll get into that in just a bit. But let's talk some Chiefs football, Bink.
Side leagues always work.
Yeah. This is another example. You know my feeling about spring football, and I know the golf was a little bit different.
Well,
but
UFL's still going, but it was XFL, then they combined. And
let me know if the UFL is still around 5 years from now.
College football is minor league football.
Semi-pro, yeah, exactly. All right, Chiefs football, though. We were talking about some of the potential starters that could come from this year's draft. I've mentioned with the wide receiver group that I think they are positioning themselves where next year they're going to have to go either spend big money on a free agent receiver, spend a first-round pick, or trade picks to go get a wide receiver in a trade next year. This year, to me, they are banking on, we can dispute whether we think it's going to work, but I think it's very clear they are banking on Rashee Rice being available. He's not suspended, healthy, and the potential in a contract year for him to have his best season as a Chief. You people can say, I don't believe it. That's fine. I'm just telling you, I think that's what they think is going to happen. And I do think he's going to have one of his best seasons in a Chiefs uniform. They're also clearly relying on, and this is the scarier one, Xavier Worthy having a breakout season in year 3. Now, I can point, I think, to multiple reasons why you should believe. I would say, A, he got hurt 3 plays in and was hurt all season long with various injuries. B, we all acknowledge they didn't have a real wide receiver coach, and now they have an experienced vet in Chad O'Shea. And the third part would be, we all know the offense was semi-broken in general last year. So that's their plan, and that's what it's going to come down to, because we all know they did not spend a premium pick on a wide receiver. Barring a free agent signing, this is the wide receiver room for the most part. So do you agree that that's clearly the plan, and that next year they're set up where they're going to have to go spend big money or trade for one?
Yeah, I do believe it's the plan, but the board kind of fell to him like that. There was a scenario if somebody did jump up and take the lane, because they were worried about it. Because if McCoy, everybody got the medicals and he was falling. McCoy was often seen as a top 10 pick. He was mocked to the Chiefs. Matter of fact, the number one mock guy to the Chiefs was Delane. But there was a lot of McCoys coming through as well. But I understand what they did, because you never know. If he's still sitting on the board, you don't know who's going to trade up at 7 and 8 and get in front of you, because there would have been a lot, because he was the corner everybody looked at as cornerback number 1 with the bullet. There wasn't even a question mark. Kind of like Jeremiah Love was the running back. So Delane was seen that way, especially with McCoy sliding back. So that made him more marketable. Look at free agency and what they did. Obviously, edge was not part of the equation during free agency. Wide receiver was not part of the equation during free agency. So where do you get those? You get them through the draft. Then you have the second wave of free agency that started 2 days ago at 3 o'clock, where you can sign players that doesn't hurt you against the comp formula for the next year. And so people are looking at that. I mean, I love what the Eagles did with Roseman. They needed passers, get Greenard during the draft. I mean, that was
a very good trade.
I think the Chiefs could possibly do that too, because they didn't exactly get what they wanted. And I'm not talking about Cyrus Allen. I'm not talking about Caldwell and free agency. Yeah. I'm talking about that didn't necessarily happen. I'll be honest with you. If they would have drafted like a Tyson and then traded up for Chris Johnson at 27, I would have been okay with that. I mean, that's one to be okay with. But they didn't have that. And always the danger is an Alec Pierce that has 50 catches in the NFL making $29 million a year. And had he gone elsewhere, would have even more money. That's the danger. That's the quality receiver you have to overpay for.
That's the danger of, going free agency. But his example is the example that you should hope Xavier Worthy is, which is a guy that didn't do much in year 1 and 2 and then took a massive leap and did earn that money by year 3 or 4.
I think Xavier, last year, I think the injuries, of course, did hamper him. I think he had a lingering thing throughout the year and played through it. I mean,
he wore the harness all year.
Yeah, he did. And he's a tough guy. Never missed games in Pop Warner, high school, Texas. Never missed games. That's a misnomer. He ran into Kelsey, had to miss games, but his track record is not missing football games. He's a tough player. But he had a good rookie year, 59 catches? Because remember, he started slow, but then had to step up, especially when Rice goes out game 4. Hollywood Brown was out in preseason. He had to step up. Rashee Rice had a really good rookie year as well. So it can happen with rookie wide receivers that they have. But I just look at the Orlando Brown situation, because Orlando Brown was signed before the draft back in 21, but he was signed on April 26th. So it was right up before the draft. And the Chiefs looked at all those right tackles, to be a left tackle and said, we don't have it. So they called Baltimore.
Yeah, you and I will always remember that day. Brett Veach just had his media availability or whatever,
weird.
and then they made the trade.
Yeah, it's like a Friday news dump that they had. And it's crazy because it came from a rival, and that typically doesn't happen. And it did. The Chiefs are where they're at because of rivals in Buffalo and Baltimore, which is really weird, but it is the way it is. But Orlando Brown, they say, we need a left tackle. Love him or hate him, he did win a ring with the Chiefs. And they were desperate for left tackle because at the end of the draft that year was a bunch of guys that are now right tackles in the league or guards, or they're out of the NFL. So they were right. They were 100% right not to stay and draft somebody in 21 and make that move for Orlando Brown. I see that with the receiver too, because they didn't get who they wanted in the draft. I clearly think that was going to be part of the process, but obviously the way the draft board
Brett
was.
Veach kind of acknowledged that Carnell Tate would have been the receiver they were going to take if he was there at 7, or not 7,
Well, he
at
said
9.
that, but he also said it differently too. Like, well, we thought Tate would be off the board or something. He didn't 100% unequivocally say that. Jordan Tyson, I had heard that was
that was the name everybody was linking them to.
I heard that the guy, but keep in mind, Mansour Delaney was the guy that maybe the NFL teams didn't, but mock drafters sure as hell had Mansour Delaney. He was the number one player for the Kansas City Chiefs in mock drafts at least 2.5 weeks leading up to the draft. So you didn't get what you wanted at that point. You didn't get what you wanted the first wave of free agency. Does a Tyreek Hill or somebody like that make sense? It's going to have to be that way. And here's the thing. It's going to be watch for injuries and watch for suspensions, because the last 2 years, the Chiefs receivers on paper are not the ones they play with. Just like 2 years ago, Hollywood Brown gets hurt in the first preseason game. Rasheed Rice goes down on game 4. You don't predict these type of things. They're just injuries or whatever. You can't do it. And then last year, you knew it was going to happen. You knew Rice was going to get suspended at some point. In the Chiefs, I do believe they kind of wanted it later. But the NFL's like, all right, 6 games right off the beginning. The Chiefs are like, okay, we'll deal with it. So 6 games, he's out, because they really didn't have a contingency plan last year. There was nobody really brought in. There was no contingency plan for wide receiver last year. And then Xavier Worthy goes down, and you're like, oh, crap. We just lost Worthy and Rasheed Rice. Well, Rice is going to be out for 6 games. What are we going to do? Because Xavier Worthy was hit. So on paper, it looks fine. But unfortunately, the last couple of years, it's not been on paper the Chiefs receivers in the regular season. So, yeah, it can be a problem when you go in the halftime and you have Kelsey with 4 catches and your wide receivers have 2. That could be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, if that happens again, then and this offense is middle of the road and it leads to not making the postseason, there will be some very serious conversations about this entire regime at that point in time. I think still to me, I'm a believer in Xavier Worthy still breaking out. I get the skepticism. Anytime I say that, the text line says I'm an idiot, and that's fine. But I think he's someone that we should not write off yet. I'm not guaranteeing you, but like to say he may not end up being that guy, but to say that we already know is where I push back and where I think people are incorrect right now. I might be wrong about that he can do it, right? But anybody saying they already have the answer, that's where I think we that's too much right now. Now, you told me pre-show, though, that you think they could still trade for a receiver?
I do. The whole thing with A.J.
That's
Brown.
next year, though.
Well, the whole thing with A.J. Brown that came out, I'm not buying that at all. I mean, it is.
Who are they trading for this offseason? It's too late.
It is kind of too late, but if there's a situation where somebody is expendable with contract tops going forward, like Pickens out there, that's not extremely happy.
He's the only one, though, Bink.
He's not getting traded.
I don't think so either. I don't think it's going to be a name like that.
The Cowboys would have done that on draft.
It's going to be mid-level if they make a move. But again, you have to find somebody willing to do it. And the Chiefs haven't exactly, at this point, found partners willing to do deals. But not saying they couldn't. And Howie Roseman and the Eagles, who knows? A.J. Brown, Mekhi Lemon's the answer for them now. That's going to take over. Will A.J. Brown and Diana Rossini be right? The New England Patriots want him to be a New England Patriot. I'm just saying there is guys out there if they don't trust who they have. And last year, keep in mind, they did.
Okay.
But if there's an injury that happens up in training camp, we say that they won't make a trade. A trade's not a possibility. 100% is.
I totally understand. Would you trade, knowing how good next year's draft class is, would you trade a second-round pick for George Pickens?
No, because of how good that class is.
See, that's not my reason. My reason is
just wasting a season, though.
My reason is not just that the draft class is good. It's more that I got to make him the highest paid receiver, second highest paid receiver in
that
football.
also is part of it.
That's my hesitation. The actual, if you just told me it was, I gave up a second round pick and he was making, the 15th best money or highest money. Sure. The problem with Pickens is, one, I do want to see him do it for another year. And I don't blame Dallas at all, by the way, for not wanting to give him a long-term extension. I have no issue with that 100%. Whatsoever. I want to see him do it again. And then if he does do it again, are you willing to pay him the kind of money it's going to take? That's going to take a massive amount of money. And now we're entering a different era of Chiefs football, but in the old era, I'll call it, they were only willing to pay top-tier money at the star position for Mahomes, for Kelsey, and Jones for the most part. They weren't willing to do it for Trent McDuffie. We just saw that play out. That's why they moved on from him. They were not going to give him the largest contract in NFL history for a corner. They've done it at center. Okay, they've done it for guard, but not at the premium positions unless your name was Chris Jones, Patrick Mahomes, and Travis Kelce.
But what's the plan going forward? Locking in the plan. Unless you believe in Andy Reid, okay, he could take a rookie receiver and make him something different. I mean, he had Deshaun Jackson. Obviously, Xavier Worthy played okay as rookie year, 59 catches. Rasheed Rice was number 2 in the NFL as a rookie in yards and catches, only behind Puka when he was a rookie. So he has done it before. Mm-hmm. There is that example where you can look where he has done it before. But if Kelsey's gone in 27, which I think we all agree he's gone, and Rasheed Rice is on that contract here, if he's not back here, you got Worthy under contract and Tyquan Thornton, and that's it.
No, they're going to have to address it in the future.
That's your pass catching room right there. So it is scary when you look, and you don't want to sacrifice this year and next year and going forward. You want it already kind of locked in what they're going to do. Yes, the running game is going to be better, but I always caution people, be careful with the running game because the Raiders picked a running back in the first round. And it helped them so much they picked first in the draft
this
year.
They didn't have a quarterback, though.
Well, Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier in Atlanta, that was a good backfield. Again,
they didn't have a quarterback.
Only 6 of the top 10 running backs in the NFL this year did not make the postseason.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly a guaranteed lock. Like the Cardinals probably can pick first on the clock with Jeremiah Love and with Tyler Algier.
I get your point, but that's you and I both know, though, and you're correct factually that those running backs did not turn their teams into playoff teams. But come on now. The Chiefs as a roster and with the quarterback, it's not the same scenario.
It's different
Jeremiah,
with the quarterback.
Like you would agree, Jeremiah Love in Arizona is different than Jeremiah Love in Kansas City, or Kenneth Walker in Kansas City is different than Kenneth Walker in Arizona. I mean, they're just a difference.
They're going to rely heavily on that backfield. They just are, and that's okay.
They need to early in the year.
To be honest with you, it's kind of Marty Ball with a good quarterback. That's kind of how I look at this offense. It's Marty Ball with a good quarterback.
Post-injury, don't be surprised the first month if they run more than they're running in November.
I mean, this is Marty Ball, once again, good tight end, good running game, solid defense. I mean, it's what it is with a good quarterback, which can work because they never had that quarterback.
I think some of it, though, is just because, before we get to another topic, I think some of it is because you are so caught up with the wide receiver room. I think because you've been preaching this since January. You've been begging them to take multiple wide receivers, and they waited to take one, and it wasn't.
Yeah, your philosophy, and it's fine. Your philosophy is you want them taking 2 or 3 receivers every year in the first.
It's like Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings was looking for $22 million free agency. Obviously, he's going to take a 1-year deal, a lot less than that, like $15 million or something.
He's still unsigned.
But he's a 7th-round pick. That was because they were, throwing darts at multiple receivers. You end up with the Juwan Jennings when you take the chance to get those type of guys. You get a Puka when you're willing to take chances on the 5th round and your 4th pick in the 5th round. I'm throwing at darts.
Puka's, of course, the outlier of all outliers.
Not saying it's going to work. Juwan Jennings like that, Torrey Horton. I mean, there's plenty of guys like that where teams do darts, later in the draft. Maybe they work out, maybe they don't, but they could work out.
We'll get back into some Chiefs football coming up in about 15 minutes or so as we talk about some of the teams that are positioned to maybe go on a surprise run, according to one website. Like the Seattle Seahawks, I thought the list, and you did as well, was very interesting of teams they grouped in. But let's pivot a little bit to Live Golf. And by now you probably have seen the headlines. Wall Street Journal yesterday was the report that kind of was the final nail in the coffin. There were rumblings about the Saudi backers pulling their funding. And now, after weeks of claiming, oh, yeah, we still got money and cash on hand, now it's pretty evident the chairman of the Live Golf board has stepped down. Wall Street Journal reporting after weeks that Live Golf has lost the funding of its Saudi backers, and this upstart golf league that's only been around for a couple of years. But I remember talking on this show the day it happened, and we were saying this is dangerous for the PGA Tour. And remember, they were freaking out. They were holding emergency meetings, and
because they had a lot of talent.
What was his name? Jay Monahan and everything. It was a big deal. And multiple golfers left, and then they realized it wasn't so great on the other side, and the league never really took off. And after putting in I think the report number I saw was $5 billion. Yeah, with a B. $5 billion into Live Golf, did the Saudi fund, that they have pulled the plug on it.
I think that's because they were losing money, yeah.
Clearly.
For sure.
And this is why Live Golf can never, I mean, it's done forever, because this is not a scenario, we'll find some other financial backers. If somebody put in $5.3 billion over 5 years, they have nothing to show for it, it's done. It's absolutely done. And so, look, I'm kind of glad to see Live Golf not be successful, personally. I had no problem, though, and I'll still stand by it at the time. I know people were very upset. I had no problem with golfers taking a financial opportunity to go and try that out. Now, it's time to pay the consequence, though. You got the reward, you got the big check, Phil Mickelson, etc., and you were offered a chance to come back 3 months ago, John Rahm and some other guys, and some of you chose, some of you didn't. I wouldn't let any of these guys back. That's me being petty, but I would not let the guys that did not take our opportunity to come back even a few months ago. No, you chose to go ahead and sleep over there. You don't get to come back over here because that opportunity is not there anymore. I would tell them to, you know what? But like I think this is a situation where you don't let them back, or you make it extremely difficult for them to earn a right back on the PGA Tour.
Were you for Brooks Koepka come back?
Yes.
Okay. Now Brooks Koepka.
Him coming back, by the way, probably even sped this process up.
But he did not get a very easy deal from them either.
No,
so it would
no.
be worse than he had to immediately pay $5 million to a charity donation. He gets no automatic eligibility.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying he could have cost himself anywhere from $50 to $90 million.
Yeah,
he could have got.
Brooks is losing money technically right now. Like
He's
losing money.
But this is what
5
he
years
had to
without
do.
player equity, no 2026 FedEx bonus money that he's going to get. So he did sacrifice something to come back. Now, would it be? It sounds like it'd be much worse for everybody else that came back. Are you willing to take that hit?
The quote in the article, the Wall Street Journal article, a couple things. It said the hill to get back on tour could be even steeper for golfers with less illustrious track records. The tour, of course, already drew a line in the sand with the previous returning member program was strictly limited to recent major champions. Quote, we're interested in having the best players who can help our tour. Not every player can do that. There's going to be some guys that have the door slammed in their face.
Carlos Ortiz, one of those guys probably is going to be that way. Sergio, I don't think I know he's a major champ, but I wonder if they consider it. Ian Poulter, probably
Phil.
not. Like Phil, yeah. For those guys, probably. I think the ones that I could see them making it easier on are Bryson DeChambeau and John Rahm. More Bryson than John Rahm, to be honest with you, but
how about Bubba? Bubba's over there too, isn't he?
Bubba Watson, yeah.
He's
Shout
got
out
two
to
Masters.
Bubba, but I think Bubba fits into the Carlos Ortiz, Ian Poulter, Sergio Garcia track of things where, like you said, Gold, in my opinion, and I had a buddy mention this to me yesterday, we were talking about it, and he mentioned, I'll give him the credit for it, I'm stealing it from him basically, but go through Q School, go to the Corn Ferry Tour, then you can go, like, you have to earn your card all over again for those guys maybe who aren't like Bryson or John Rahm. But if Carlos Ortiz, I'll use him as the example.
And Dustin Johnson, too.
Yeah.
He has two majors.
Yeah, I know, but I think they'll make Dustin Johnson work. I think they're going to make him work for it, honestly, because he hasn't been very good at all. But Carlos Ortiz, I'll use him as the example. Younger golfer, Cam Smith, same thing. Those two guys, I don't think they're going to just let them come back into the tour with the penalties. I think they will have to go through Q School again. I think they'll have to go to the Corn Ferry Tour, and they will have to qualify and get their tour card again. I think that's the step for, you mentioned, Gold, those guys that are not the quote-unquote higher level. Where, look, Bryson DeChambeau does a lot of really good things for golf. Obviously, the lifting, probably it's a stain on his resume or whatever you want to call it. But he does the YouTube videos. He's fun to watch play. He's a bit of a character. He's a guy that the PGA Tour, I think, would welcome back immediately just because of the social media aspect of things. He's a fun guy to watch play.
Yeah, he's financially beneficial to them. Again,
Yes.
I someone was saying that the people that left are geniuses. Look, Phil Mickelson or others, if they actually got the $100 million, or whatever the number was for each one of those guys, again, I have no problem. But the problem now for them is you have to pay the price of that. You got the reward. There is a punishment. There's a punishment. I truly don't fault the guys that left. I know some people morally didn't like it. That's fine. It's a different conversation. I'm just saying, if somebody offered you and your family up to make $100 million, I don't know many people that would say no. And some of you would. Good for you if that's the case. I can tell you, I wouldn't say no to the $100 million if I was a golfer to go play on a different tour. But now you got to pay the price of that. And so I just wouldn't even let any of them back.
I think that's what makes Brooks. I think that's what makes Brooks doing it first. He's going to look like the good guy ultimately still out of all of this. I genuinely think, yes, he made the money, but I think he lost his competitiveness for the game, and the only way that he could have continued playing golf is if he came back to the tour. If they would have made him play on Live and continue doing it, he would have quit golf, I think, period.
Well, there's going to be a lot of stores.
I think that's part of the deal, though, that you took the check, and it was a non-competitive field, and essentially all of these guys, for the most part, have kind of lost their love for the game. You're playing at courses that aren't as good of quality. There's no there's no cuts, there's no feel for any of that stuff. You lose your love for the game in a way.
We got some somewhat breaking NFL news because it's a name that impacts the Kansas City Chiefs, and it's a name that we had brought up. According to Adam Schefter, 6-time Pro Bowl defensive end Calais Campbell, who played in Baltimore back in 2020 and 2022, is going back to Baltimore on a one-year deal. Disappointing on this end because we had talked about Calais Campbell as maybe one of the veteran options. Now, I prefer Cam Jordan over Campbell, but now there's only one of these veterans.
Same way I wanted Campbell to trade to the line.
Calais Campbell will turn 40 on September 1st, but take him off the list, the wish list of potential vets that I would like the Chiefs to bring in to help out this defensive line. Now you're really down to Cam Jordan in a Joey Bosa type that I think could jumpstart the defensive line. I'll be curious to see the financials on Calais Campbell.
Baltimore's loading up, man.
It makes me sick.
Drew in Cincinnati probably don't like that at all. I don't like it because I thought he was an option.
He's still in the AFC too, so I think you're going to have to go up if you're thinking that the Chiefs are going to be where they have to go to. Probably going to have to go through the Ravens at some point. I don't know if they play them during the regular season.
Trey Hendrickson out there and
Zion Young, Mike Green. They're hoping develops again. Their defense on paper is, again, they were better last year than they were 2 years ago, but on paper, the defense is good
last 2 or 3 years, they'd slipped.
Yeah.
Like 31st, 32nd.
But we'll have to see if they can actually. I know they got Jesse Minter in there and all that other stuff, so they should be better.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to Baltimore too. I know it's a different regime, but he's familiar for the most part with the organization and lived there already and everything. That's a big. I'm assuming that was his intrigue of taking that job. For him to play at the level he's still playing at, soon to be 40, is remarkable. At some point, he's going to hit a brick wall. That was my hesitation, and maybe he doesn't, and maybe he plays another year. Good for him. But yeah, I don't like seeing that. As you point out, though, we're going to start seeing some of these vets sign this week now that the comp formula doesn't come into play. So you're down one veteran option, and this is more of us speculating. We don't know if the Chiefs feel like they need to bring in a veteran on the defensive line. We all just kind of say, hey, look, you drafted a defensive end, you drafted a defensive tackle in the end of first round and the early part of the second round. But do you feel good about Gelati, Mason Thomas rotating in there, or do you want to have a veteran piece, at least for 1 year? And Campbell could have been that. Cam Jordan still can be that. Joey Bosa, I'm a little more hesitant on, but he's still out there.
It feels like the free agent thing is more of a not that you're not asking them to be productive, but it's a fill the room sort of thing where you're not caught lacking. Where if an injury happens, or if Ashton Gelati or Mason Thomas are struggling a little bit, and you need somebody to come in, it just adds to the rotation. Again, maybe they're thinking Felix could potentially fill that void, but you can never have too many pass rushers.
No, it's just the evolution of it. You have the free agency. Okay, whatever pieces you get, then kind of changes your draft board and the way you're looking at. Then you hit the second wave as you go in the summer on pieces you weren't able to pick up in free agency or the draft. It's clearly what Philadelphia did. And no, they don't play the Ravens this year.
Oh, okay. There you go.
They don't?
The Chiefs do not.
They don't play the North. They just happen to play Cincy because of the third place matchup. Yeah. That's why they're matched up. We will talk schedule, actually, in the Chiefs right half hour a little bit. We got some clarity on some dates where things could be announced. Up next, though, let's talk about teams that could have a Seattle Seahawks type run. One site thinks they have found the 5 teams. We'll see if you guys agree next.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in to hear Royals insider Josh Fernier every Wednesday at 12:30. Cody and Gold is brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
Everything you knew about reaching customers online is being rewritten. Time to rethink your approach. Outcomes from Viant finds real customers, not impressions, not clicks, customers. Our AI maximizes every dollar of your budget against the outcomes that matter most. and proves it happened. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
This is one of my favorite times of the sports calendar, and FanDuel is celebrating it right. FanDuel is serving up a happy hour every day of the NBA playoffs. We're talking special drops that you don't want to miss, from profit boosts to bonus bets and more. The best part of this is it's every single day. All you need to do is head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. I absolutely love the NBA playoffs. I'm talking of every day, every night. Incredible basketball played at the highest level by the biggest stars in the game. So it doesn't matter if it's a buzzer beater or it's a series sweep. They got you covered over on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. So whether you're betting the early game or you're getting ready for the prime time, make sure that you open up the FanDuel app and see what's waiting for you today. Go to FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA and also the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 are present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hello, Kansas City. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America and a member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
I hope you are sitting down. The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on monthly premiums, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Matt B. and KC at BBS Insurance's Freedom of Choice plan now. You don't have to wait. Their plan lets you use any doctor, has 0 outpatient deductibles, and is 30 to 60% lower cost than most Obamacare plans. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you're a small business owner or pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Matt B. and KC for an instant quote over the phone. 816-205-4664. That's 816-205-4664. Or go to bbsinsurance.net. That's bbsinsurance.net. They will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. Money is on the line. Always say hello with Quo. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Introducing Home Care Plus, a new subscription service from Lowe's that helps make life easier by giving members a hand with home maintenance. Let Lowe's tackle the tasks you keep meaning to do, like electric dryer vent cleaning, replacing hard-to-reach light bulbs, and more. Subscribe to Home Care Plus for just $99 a year and consider your to-do list done. Members get more at Lowe's. Available in select zip codes only. Cancel anytime. Non-refundable fee. Product purchase required. Terms and service restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, get any size mattress for one low price starting at $219.99. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows, shorts, and clips. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
11 o'clock hour on a Thursday. Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Drew Nixon producing the show. Jay Binkley in for Cody. Reminder, we're on till 1 today. Royals afternoon baseball as they try to win this series against the A's before they stay out west and head up north to Seattle from Sacramento. Josh Vernier's On Deck show starts at 1 o'clock here on 96.5 The Fan. We are 30 minutes away from the Chiefs Red Half Hour, 20 minutes away from the trash of the day. We'll get back into, if you're just joining us, the news that broke in the last 15 minutes or so, and that was that one of the potential options, if you think the Chiefs were going to address the defensive line with a vet still, is no longer out there. That would be Calais Campbell. Adam Schefter reporting he's returning to the Baltimore Ravens on a one-year deal. He'll turn 40 in September. We all know last year, the story of the NFL, it was the unpredictable season the Seahawks had all the way to the Super Bowl champion. Sam Darnold ends up getting his ring. It is a scenario that maybe you thought Seattle could be good last year, but you didn't think they were a Super Bowl champ. I had Seattle winning the NFC West. That was one of my dark horse bets of the season, one of the only season-long bets that I hit.
Did you have the Rams?
I had the Rams winning the Super Bowl, yes.
Yeah, their draft makes it right back where they get back.
They're the Super Bowl favorite right now. Yeah. The Rams are the Super Bowl favorite right now.
Simpson and Max Clare, the first two picks.
So who could be this year's Seattle? Over at NFL.com, they were asking that question. They said 5 teams that can make a Seahawks-like surprise run to the Super Bowl, which this year it is out at SoFi in LA. So the Rams, they're thinking, man, we could host the Super Bowl in our backyard. That's their plan.
Just like they did 4 years ago
against your Bengals.
Yeah, against Cincy. Yeah. Yep. So it's very possible. So here are the 5 teams that this site listed that could make a Seahawks-like surprise. I'm just curious to see if you guys agree with these teams. There's also a few teams on this list that I'm like, to me, they don't qualify to be in that category. Yep. So number 1, here, the rules they set. They said you had to be eligible. Teams had to meet 2 basic criteria. You would not do a double take if they made the playoffs, and you would do a double take if they won 14 or more games. That's how they determined this list. So number 1, they listed a Seahawks-like run this year, the Houston Texans. Number 2, they listed the Vikings. Number 3, they listed the Chargers. I'll get to them in a second. The Bears were 4 on this list. And number 5 was the Cincinnati
Which
Bengals.
is interesting.
So a couple things. We'll get to Cincy in a second. I'm sure Drew has thoughts. I don't think that there's a couple teams that, to me, don't qualify. I know they're a qualifier. To me, Chicago making the Super Bowl would not be stunning next year. They were already a team that won their division, that clearly is ascending. Now with second-year Ben Johnson, I think Luther Burden's going to blow up and have a big year in Chicago this year. And so I don't think that would be a Seattle Seahawks-like run. Seattle did it, in fairness, yes, in year 2 of their coach as well, but they did not win the division the prior year. The Seahawks were, 3rd in their division?
Well, the Houston
Texans are kind
of Texans are kind of like that, too. We're talking about a team that's won a playoff game in 3 straight years.
Yeah, I think Houston's more of a fit for this. I'm not saying they will be the team, but just to say they should even be on the list is more of a fit than Chicago. Like I feel Chicago is much higher than Houston in terms of being a quality team. I just think the Bears are better than the Texans. The Texans would be surprising to me. The Bears getting to a Super Bowl, not surprising. Houston getting to one, surprising. The Chargers getting to one, surprising. The Bengals getting to one, surprising. The one I just disagree with on the list is Chicago. I don't think they fit the criteria for that. What did you make of the list? Who would you put on? Who would you say are teams that could be a surprise team that could go on a run? Minnesota, I get. I told you I think Kyler Murray's going to be
I don't with Minnesota.
You don't believe in Kyler at all, right?
No, it's just you're making that switch there. I mean, the Vikings have some very nice pieces, but the quarterback is not one of them.
Isn't that what we said about Seattle last year? The season started?
They also went 14-3 with Sam Darnold the year before, so it's not like quarterback was great then either, which is why I think Minnesota fits in this situation.
What you just said about what Minnesota, though, that's exactly what we would have been saying this time last year about Seattle. Oh, JSN's good, Kenneth Walker's nice, but their quarterback, Sam Darnold. I mean, come on. Like that I'm pretty sure we all said that.
Well, he backed up a good year, having another good year. So he's in that category now. But I get it. I get with the hesitation.
I think you could put the Colts in this.
Ooh. Yeah?
I would be surprised. Even
I'm not buying the Colts.
Yeah. Neither am I. He's just saying the criteria.
I think that's why they fit in the criteria.
Yeah.
Who would be surprising? I think
the
Colts would be more surprising than the Bears.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, because I think the Colts were fluke of all flukes last year. But yeah.
Well, the Vikings did make the playoffs. Keep in mind, about 4 teams usually flip every year since the merger. 23 of the last 25 have done it. What about the Giants?
Well, I'm a believer in them. They're a dark horse bet to win the NFC East for me.
There's 4 legitimate pass rushers with Burns, Thibodeau, Abdul Carter there, and Arvell Reese. That's legitimate.
I think that
Legitimate
fits.
wide receivers, legitimate running game. I did like some things that Jackson Dart did. The Giants didn't sniff the playoffs. Either did the Vikings.
Wait, so
Vikings didn't make the playoffs either.
Remind me again. It was make the playoffs and then win 14 games.
They chose that to be eligible, you would not do it. More of an opinion base. Would not do a double take if they made the playoffs. So it wouldn't surprise you if they make the playoffs, but you would be surprised if they won 14 or more games.
I think the Giants fit. I wouldn't be surprised if they made the playoffs just because the NFC East is kind of we don't know what the NFC East is. I guess I would be if the Giants won 14 games. I mean, that would be very surprising.
I'd be surprised if any of these teams won 14 games.
In the NFC East?
No, even the Texans and Vikings, all that.
Sure.
All that would be a shock.
Who's most likely on that on their
Probably
list?
the Bears.
Exactly. The Bears are the best team on the list that
or
they
the
put on
Bengals
there.
if that defense comes together because we know how good that
I don't
offense
think in that
can be.
division they can get to 14. I don't think in that division they can get to 14.
If we're talking category, like if we're talking them make a run potentially at the Super Bowl or like get to an AFC title, I would be less surprised than them winning 14 just because of the like if it's the category, I wouldn't be surprised as much of them making the playoffs. But if they won 14 games, that means they're probably the 1 seed.
I mean,
Buffalo
didn't even
never
win
done
14 games.
which they haven't done yet.
I don't think they can get to 14 because of the division and some other questions.
I don't think the Bengals have been 1 seed in my lifetime.
Only one team, two teams, Seahawks and the Patriots got the 14.
Yeah. Well, Denver got to 14 last year, didn't they? They lost tiebreaker, didn't they?
Yes. Denver got to 14 as well, So 3 teams.
Okay. So that was the other team.
It would be weird. Denver getting to 14, though. Like, if we're talking the criteria, Denver getting to 14 again would be kind of surprising.
I think Denver's an 11-win football team this year.
So I wonder if there's more teams than just...
I like your answer on the Giants, though, Bink. I don't know about Super Bowl, but they fit the criteria of what this article is saying. I do think because of the division, they could surprise people. They're 5-1 to win the East. I haven't put the bet in, but that's like my favorite bet right now.
Coach just won it all. I mean, there's a lot of pieces to like about them. And their pass rush, ridiculous.
Was it as soon as they traded Dexter Lawrence and got the 2 picks? Is that when you texted Cody and I that you thought they were winning the division?
I texted you that, yes, but I had talked about it prior to that. But yes, I did text you guys that I love that trade for them and them having 2 top 10 picks. And now that I see what they did with it, I think they're well positioned. It depends. If you think Jackson Dart sucks, well, then you don't agree with my thing. I think there's something there.
Back.
I wanted them to draft Jeremiah Love. Now, I would have loved if they would have had Love with Scattaboo, Neighbors, Dart. To me, that would have been awesome.
They loaded that pass rush, man.
Would the Green Bay Packers make some sense on this list?
Would I be surprised if they make the playoffs?
I don't think I would do a double take.
9-win team last year.
But if they won 14 games, that means Micah Parsons was fully healthy. That means Jordan Love was fully healthy as well.
Who's he throwing the ball to?
I mean, right now it's Jaden Reed and Christian Watson and
they
Matthew Golden.
4 free agents.
Yeah, Matthew Golden was disappointing. Yeah,
and Tucker Kraft at tight end is really who.
And he was hurt most of the year.
Oh, and Sky Moore's there too.
Yeah.
Luke Musgrave, Bink as well.
The Chargers are the one. All right, they had the problem.
I think there's more teams on.
They just picked up the 5th-year option for Quentin Johnson. Yes, he had a much better year last year than before, but Ladd McConkey took a step back. That offensive line is still thin behind Slater and Alt at tackles. Pipkins did fill in there, but he got hurt too. They drafted Jake Slaughter, so they drafted a center.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not sure. I'm not seeing it with the Chargers.
I'm not saying that this list is. I'm not saying they only made it 5 teams because, or if they just made it 5 teams because it was 5 teams. But it feels like you could put 10 to 15 teams, or like you could probably put 10 to 12-ish teams in this category.
It's the NFL, man.
You know what?
You think
I wouldn't
they're
be
bad,
surprised if they
good.
made the playoffs, but I don't see them winning 14 games. Like, because even we just talked about Denver. Like, Denver's probably not touching this list, but in terms of the category, in terms of the criteria that they say, if they won 14 games, I think we all would be surprised, but we also wouldn't do a double take if they made the playoffs. Like, all right, yeah, they were solid again.
It's kind of the say it out loud test, but in the reverse way. Normally, you're like, say it out loud. There's no way it would happen, but that's what we're looking for with this one. Because at this point last year, if you would have said Sam Darnold's going to win a Lombardi Trophy, you guys would have laughed me out of the room.
I would have been like, really?
You'd be like, give me a break, give me a freaking break. So who's the quarterback? I can tell you right now. You're like, okay. Come on now. No, it does. Just because Seattle did it doesn't mean that every year this is going to happen.
It might actually be Kyler Murray. It might actually be.
But also,
Kyler.
we should not. The NFL
Sorry, Bink, but it might be Kyler.
The NFL has great parity. We all know this about getting to the postseason. But we should not now expect that every year there's going to be a Seattle Seahawks team going to the Super Bowl and winning it.
Well, your two Super Bowl teams didn't make the playoffs the year before.
Yeah, and so, but I don't think that's now going to be the norm. Like, I don't think now that the Super Bowl matchup, we got to find two teams that didn't make the playoffs. That's just the exercise the article's trying to do. But if I had to name two quarterbacks that were the shock, that would shock everybody right now, that could end up in a Super Bowl, that you would think I'm crazy, but you would have said the same thing about Darnold. I just because of the coaching staff and the weapons, I would say Kyler Murray and I would say Dart.
Oh, Murray.
I guess
I know
Darnold's
that's
good with quarterbacks.
Dart, I think is there too. I think Daniel Jones, in terms of the quote unquote Sam Darnold thing.
Yeah.
And last year, who knows if he doesn't get hurt, but who knows what they would have done. But
Daniel
it feels
Jones
like Daniel Jones is the same
before he got hurt.
But it feels like the same thing with Sam Darnold, where Sam Darnold, it looked like his career was almost over, essentially, where Daniel Jones, his career was almost looking like it was over.
I'd take Mac Jones backing up in San Francisco better than Daniel Jones.
Which is why I think Daniel Jones making it would be like, there's no way Daniel Jones makes it to a Super Bowl, even after he played well last year.
I know the final 2 or 3 games in Minnesota for Darnold weren't good, but remember the first 12 weeks he was an MVP candidate. Daniel Jones was never an MVP candidate. He was playing well the first. He was playing well for 3 weeks
until they ruined him.
Yeah, that is important to note though about the Colts, so we can move on. But everybody's acting like, oh, it fell apart because Jones got hurt. They were already for 2 weeks not looking good. Then Jones got hurt, and then it was completely.
Daniel
toast.
Jones had 7 turnovers before he even got hurt the previous 2 weeks.
All right, coming up in about 8 minutes, guys, we'll get to the trash of the day. I do want to pivot to a story that we get more information on, I feel like, every hour or so. A couple days ago, it broke. It was around the Texas Tech quarterback, Brendan Sorsby, who transferred in from Cincinnati. There was a report that he was going into a treatment facility for gambling addiction and indefinitely, and there was reports that he had bet on some games while he was at Indiana. Fast forward to now, Thursday, we know a little bit more, which is from Matt Hayes, that Sorsby was doing this while at Cincinnati, and the Cincinnati Athletic Department, he alleges, was alerted in August, so right before this past season, that, hey, he's gambling. He maybe, the NCAA is going to maybe be looking at this. The associate athletic director at Cincinnati released a statement saying Cincinnati has no comment at this time. So Cincinnati could be in some big trouble with the NCAA. I do want to, with this story, just because of the past gambling investigations, this is not the same as, I'm not saying it's not serious, but it's not the same as, nobody's accusing Sorsby of having someone back him and he's betting hundreds, $10,000 to play in a certain game and rig a game or anything. This is a guy that was betting a crazy amount of times, not amount of money, amount of times.
10,000 wagers, I think, is what they said.
Yeah, he would go and bet 20 wagers a day. He was at a Reds game reportedly and would bet on the individual balls and strikes, $1 or $2 bets. So I legitimately think he has a gambling problem. Okay, I think it's pretty evident. I still wonder the fact that he's checking him into himself in the facility, and I hope he gets help and can get through everything. But I don't think we know about it or anything that becomes public if it weren't for the part that he knew they were about to announce this investigation. It was going to all open up. To me, this is still his play to go through facility and treatment, hopefully get it corrected or best handled, and position himself for the NFL. Because his college career, now that we know more information, his college career is toast.
Yeah, what did Tech know before, the $5 million to him? And the other thing, too, is, and this is going to be a big deal, he's 22 now. So meaning when he was at Indiana, state laws are you have to be 21 to gamble, sports gambling. So you're doing it illegally. So that's another thing where you bring in federal jurisdiction to it, that you're making bets before you're 21 years old.
Still currently not being investigated, right?
Correct. There's no law enforcement involvement. This is all NCAA.
But this will probably trickle down if they're finding out you're betting before you're 21.
Under 21.
Yeah, but I'll say this: while you're not supposed to, they'll be looking into the providers that he was betting through. I don't think the FBI is wasting their time about a 22-year-old betting. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're correct that it is illegal to do so. I'm just saying that that'll be more on pick your sports book, that they're going to wonder how is this individual betting. I don't think the FBI is going to spend their resources worrying about one 22-year-old that might have put some bets in. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe not. You never know.
This is different than the other stuff where there was fraud going on.
Well, how much money has he already taken from Tech? Because he had $5 million. Yeah. Supposedly he's already gotten payments out of that $5 million.
He's going to have to pay that money back.
That's probably, that's a lot of money.
As he should. I mean, my question about the NFL part of it is, the supplemental draft seems like his only path to play football still. And will there be an NFL team? Because if you see some of the conversation from draft experts about Sorsby, they thought if everything would have been fine at Texas Tech this year, he was going to be maybe a top 10 pick.
Like 8 or 9.
Okay. So is there a team, knowing everything that's now going on, let's say he goes through the treatment facility and everything, he comes out on the other side, and they feel like he has at least got his problem under control. I don't want to say it's fixed, but whatever. Is there a team that would give up a draft pick? Because in a supplemental draft, if you take him and you put in a blind bid, for those that, and I know you know, Bink, but for those that don't know, you put in a blind bid, and whoever has the top bid or whatever would get said player, and nobody has used the supplemental draft in years.
It was canceled last year.
Yeah, nobody's really in it.
2019 was the last supplemental pick.
Would there be a team that thinks, hey, this guy was maybe going to be a top 10 pick. We'll give up a 4th-round pick in the 2027 draft for Sorsby, or
that's
higher.
a tough thing because you're giving up a reciprocal pick before you get. So 27 would be a lot of talent. Is that really something you want to do? Forfeit that
fourth rounder, though?
4th rounder.
5th rounder?
But can you trust
I'd give up a 6th or 7th rounder, I'll tell you that.
But your quarterback, you got to try. You don't want to start with something bad right in the beginning. Like if something morphs into that, but you don't want to start behind the 8 ball, so to speak, and get guys to buy in.
I'm not,
I don't know if you want to start with the problem.
I don't want to downplay the serious nature of gambling addiction, okay, if that is what is happening, and it sounds like it is for Sorsby.
And keep in mind, he is nowhere near the only dude with this. Not even close.
Oh, I would agree with that. Yeah,
there's definitely more college players who are doing this.
I would agree with that. So I don't. Again,
player or not player.
I don't want to downplay that issue. People do get addicted to lots of things, and it's a real thing. I will say this though: what you just said, though, you don't want to start off with a problem. The real effed up thing about this entire scenario is there are players that get drafted in the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd round that have beat up a woman, that have killed somebody in a car crash, and we're saying that he has a gambling addiction and can't touch him. Like that to me is just screwed up.
The NFL
that
takes it so seriously though, because you can't even do it at the facility, and teams have gotten banged for that.
I know.
I'm just saying, you bring that, despite everything else, but if you haven't proven anything in the NFL, you're one of these players that is a giant question mark, not a guarantee, not an exclamation mark. You're not drafting Arch Manning here.
Yeah, Bink, but it is a bit rich for the league to say, well, we don't care. Well, we allow this to happen. But then where we draw the line is...
I understand what you're saying. I totally understand what you're saying. But giving up a pick in next year's draft on something...
But if it's a 6th rounder or something... Now, to your point, I understand the reality, while morally it sounds messed up.
I mean, Vrabel went to counseling, too. Let's not forget one-day counseling. He's fixed.
The morally versus the reality here, which is... The league's biggest fear more so is the integrity of their sport. They can act like they care about all this other stuff. So what you're saying is that even though he wasn't betting on himself in a particular game, which would be a big, big problem, and that's where the authorities would get involved, if he just maybe has a gambling problem, will that scare teams because the league is worried that that'll prompt him one day to bet on something in the league, and that's the NFL's biggest concern.
It would be 100% different. Well, it's not 100% different because there's still problems with it. But if he was betting on other teams or other sports, like let's say he just decided to bet on MLB and NFL.
And he was doing that.
And stay away from college, yes. But when you go to the territory of betting on your team, granted, he wouldn't play in those games when he played in one of those games. But when you are, you know everything. You know the injuries. Totally. You know who's playing and not playing. You know if someone's willing to take that next step. You know a lot more just being around that program and in it. The fact of his own team, I think, really hurts him. Had it not been that, I can see your point. But being your own team, I think that makes things different.
I get what I'm just saying, like how screwed up the system is. I understand why the league is more concerned about somebody that is gambling because their integrity, the minute people question the integrity of your sport, you're in big, big, big trouble. That's why they take these other instances that have happened so seriously in the NBA because they know that jeopardizes the entire system. I'm just saying it is screwed up morally that we're saying that he might not be able to get drafted at some point because of gambling addiction, but somebody can kill someone or beat up somebody and
this is better
and have an opportunity. That's all.
Great.
Anyway, all right, let's get to the trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
On a much lighter note, this is perfect. I saved this one for you because I wanted to get your instant reaction. Drew knew this was in the rundown yesterday, but we did a different trash of the day. Bink, this is real, I promise you. The first ever Sperm Racing World Cup. Yeah, you heard me right. The Sperm Racing World Cup is heading to San Francisco. We might have the World Cup here They have the Sperm Racing World Cup in San Francisco next month. More than 10,000 men from over 100 countries have already applied to compete for a $100,000 prize. Here's how it works. Like a standard sports tournament, 128 men, each representing a different country, submit semen samples from home using a mailed kit. Scientists then isolate individual sperm cells and place them in a custom-built microscopic track measuring about 0.02 inches long. A controlled microcurrent creates resistance, and, well, the fastest swimmer wins. The whole thing is broadcast live with giant screens, leaderboards, and competitor health stats. The 4 co-founders behind the event say male fertility has quietly dropped by more than 60% over the past 50 years. They hoped turning sperm into a spectator sport will get men talking about reproductive
we don't
health.
need video for this, honestly. We don't need...
Can we talk about Sorsby some more?
What do you think, Bink? Do you think you can win? Do you think you can win this competition?
No, how ridiculous.
Swimmers.
No.
100 grand.
No,
Who's representing the
You don't
U.S.?
think you could win, Bink, or you're not not interested in it?
I mean, I don't know if I'd win or not. I doubt it. I'm all about representing. But
You
don't represent your country. You can represent the U.S. You can represent all
Is it a
men.
worldwide thing? Or is it only...
It's worldwide. 100 countries.
Representing the United States of America.
128 men.
Jay Binkley.
How did you represent your country? Well,
that would be...
Let me explain.
That would be...
The website, literally, spermracing.com, Bink.
Holy crap.
$100,000. You can fill out a form. You have to meet at least 25 ancestry for the country that you're applying for. One or both parents are from that country. You were born in the country.
Oh my gosh, we're doing WBC
Someone said Nick
rules.
Cannon would win that for sure. Yes.
So would Tyreek Hill, I think. Tyreek Hill should do this competition. My goodness.
Phillip Rivers has 10 kids.
Cromartie? Is that the other guy that's got like 15 kids?
I think so.
Imagine the creative shirts that they can make at this thing. You know, the puns that they can have. A new era of sport is what it says on the website.
No, get out of here.
That's what it says.
Well, they do have the testicle festival that comes in around here somewhere. No, I'm not kidding you. It's a big deal.
How do you know about this?
The testicle festival. A lot of people know about that.
I don't know.
It's a huge testicle. I think it moves it around. Missouri has a testicle festival. You never heard of that?
No, I have not heard of
Rocky
it.
Mountain oysters and stuff.
I don't know, Bink. I don't know how you've heard of
Testicle
that.
Festival.
The annual Olean Testicle Festival in Olean, Missouri is a long-standing popular event often held in early June. Features deep-fried turkey testicles or turkey fries.
You see the top text, 913-586-7965.
This is legit, man.
Bink, the top text is golden. Says Bink would lose the Sperm Racing World Cup. He'd be trying to talk to the other sperm about the 2027 draft and get distracted.
Maybe. Oh, by the way, the Chiefs put out their numbers for their rookies.
Oh, but by the way, while we're on the topic of this, let's talk about the rookie numbers.
No, we don't have to, but it's funny because Emmett gets number 10. It was Tyreek Hill, Ben Pacheco. That's just...
What does that have to do with the Sperm World Cup?
Nothing. I was trying to change the subject.
It's the trash of the day. We don't change the subject during the trash of the day, Bink. You know this.
Let's talk Testicle Festival.
You sound like you're pretty knowledgeable about the Testicle Festival.
It sounds like because
I've heard about this thing for a long time.
Yeah. Bink, these athletes have trained for years for the Sperm World Cup.
Has a Testicle Festival.
This is where we draw.
They've been training for years.
For you to say on the website it says a new era of sport and these athletes are trained, get out of here.
Anyway, there you go.
The fact that they also
it's a real
televise
thing.
it is ridiculous. We don't need.
What's it televised on? Is it just on YouTube or what?
Probably so.
Yeah,
I doubt the stream. I doubt Peacock is getting involved in it.
Yeah. Well, that would not be the one either.
Or Netflix or Paramount.
Don't bet on this. Just don't bet on this.
Sorsby, don't bet on this.
Oh, geez. That's the trash.
You don't have to do Sorsby like this, all right?
Damn. Up next.
If he did this, man, he's got a problem.
Well, that's where you draw the line. Up next, Chiefs Red Half Hour. Let's talk about the AFC West a bit more and why Bink's not scared at all.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
The first leg in horse racing's Triple Crown is Saturday. Whether you're watching from the track or the comfort of your couch, you can bet the Kentucky Derby on the same place you can bet on all your other favorite sports on FanDuel. And right now, all customers can get a Derby bet reset. That means you'll get racing bonus back if your bet doesn't win. The app is super easy to use, and you don't have to be a horse racing expert to get in on the Derby Day action. So bet the fastest 2 minutes in sports on FanDuel and make it that much more exciting with your Derby bet reset. Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks are registered trademarks of Churchill Downs Incorporated. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Verified FanDuel racing account required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable racing site credit that expires 9 days after receipt. Max refund $10 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at racing.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
DQ presents the $7 meal deal, a delicious meal serving up serious value. We're talking 100% white meat, seasoned chicken strips, full-size fries, a drink, and of course, a classic DQ sundae. Because come on, no meal is complete without a sweet treat. All for just $7. And now you can try it with the new honey sriracha dip. The DQ $7 meal deal, a satisfying meal full of big flavor for a great value. DQ, happy tastes good.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. Getting engaged? So friends, listen up. Shane Company engagement rings are protected with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We stand behind the same quality we've offered since 1929. Our rings are crafted to last. It's why our warranty is the only one that protects your center stone. We also cover repairs, resizings, cleanings, and so much more. That's money you keep for you and your family. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Get a $15 O'Reilly gift card after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
J. Rieger & Co. Oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City. J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Winner of Best Craft Bourbon at the 2025 Ascot Awards. At 90 proof, it's rich, well-balanced, and oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Chiefs Red Half Hour brought to you by Leavenworth PD. Be a cop, be yourself. Build your career at Leavenworth PD. Apply today at leavenworthks.gov/police. Coming up in a half hour, we'll get back into some Royals baseball. Their 4-game winning streak was snapped yesterday, but a chance to win this series against the A's. I think it's a crucial one for obvious reasons, but also just to prove that you can kind of keep the winning ways going. Don't let this now become a 2-game losing streak heading into a series against the Mariners over the weekend. Reminder, also, we will hand things off to Vern at 1 o'clock today. Just a 3-hour show with the Royals out in Sacramento. First pitch a little after 2 o'clock with Noah Cameron on the bump. So Vern's on deck show at 1. We'll talk a little Chiefs football. Jay Southland Tow Service text line is opened up, 913-586-7965. Video stream up and running as well. YouTube, Twitch, X, and Facebook. You can watch the show there, and you can keep an eye on Bink and what he's doing over there.
Thanks for that segment.
You're welcome.
Text line is taking a world.
Oh, the text line is on fire. I wish I could read a lot of the texts from the trash of the day. I can't. They're funny. I can't read all of them.
Nice job,
but I
nice
enjoyed quite a few, especially the ones that are interchanging that topic with you,
with the
which
draft,
is with the draft analysis, which is top-notch texting. Thank you very much.
Nice work.
Let's talk some football, though, Bink. And the AFC West, where we're at right now. Cody and I got into this a little bit earlier on in the week as well, but I wanted to dive back into it with you and see if you view the AFC West post-draft the same as we did or differently, because the Broncos, their first-round pick was Jalen Waddle, essentially, right? They traded the first-round pick to get Jalen Waddle, a trade that I would have made, by the way, if I were the Chiefs, like before the draft started. I'm happy with them getting Delane, but I would have done the Waddle trade earlier. So the Broncos didn't have a ton of picks. The Raiders had plenty of picks, right? Including the number 1 overall pick in Mendoza. We know what the Chiefs did. Do you believe that the Raiders improved the most or had the best draft in the division, or was it the Chiefs? Because I took the Broncos and the Chargers out of the conversation. I don't think either of those are in play for the best draft. And was it enough for you to think that anything they did can change the guard or sustain what the Broncos did, I guess, in the AFC West for years to come?
I think the Chiefs had the best in the AFC West. Not just saying that because we're here, but honestly, I thought they did. Number 2 is the Raiders. I don't even think there's a huge gap between the Raiders when you get down to the Chargers and Broncos, which is a good thing. But, of course, like you mentioned with Jalen Waddle, can't go wrong with that one. But the Raiders is interesting because, obviously, you bring in Kirk Cousins. It's actually a perfect spot for Mendoza. If you're hoping you get the same kind of cooperation that Alex Smith, did with Patrick Mahomes, and I can see that with Cousins. I can see him doing that. Plus Tom Brady, as part ownership of that team. There's a lot of ears to bounce things off of.
You think Mendoza starts week 1? I said I think Cousins will. Nate Taylor said he thinks they won't be able to help themselves, and it'll be Mendoza by the time they get there. I think Cousins is in there because he's going to start week 1, but maybe I'm off on that.
But good quarterbacks to talk to. And then Jermon McCoy's the interesting one in round 4 because that is a boom or bust. I mean, if he works out, which he did run his pro day like a 4.37, he showed off that speed. And the guy's a good corner. Keep in mind, this was a top 10 style corner. Matter of fact, mocked to the Chiefs a lot at 9 was Jermon McCoy. Out of the same high school, out of Patrick Mahomes. He went to his camp when he was littler. But if pick round 4 works out for him, and keep in mind, by the time Mendoza is ready to roll, and he's a serviceable guy, will Jermon McCoy, be up and be that person? Because I love Stukes. They got at safety in round 2. I think the Raiders made a nice pick there. They have nice pieces, though, with Bowers and, of course, Crosby now that he didn't end up leaving and he stayed there. Bowers, Genty. They're doing the right things. But the one thing is there really one of these guys on all three of these drafts? And obviously, you talked about the Chargers and Broncos. No one really jumped out to you. The Raiders, no one really scares either. Like, even if McCoy, came back and he was okay, you're not really scared about Jermod McCoy. Fernando Mendoza, I don't think scares you in what he could do. We'll have to see how Fernando Mendoza does. I'm just saying, usually with the AFC West, you'll see a certain draft pick go to a certain team, go, man, I hate that for him because that guy's going to be really good. Like Bowers. We know at some point Bowers may make
if he stays healthy.
If he stays healthy, makes that fourth quarter touchdown, you're like, man, I wish they didn't have Brock Bowers. Like, that's one of those guys, when you see them taking, you're like, man, I kind of like Brock Bowers. I wish he wasn't with the Raiders at this point. But there was nobody in the AFC West. You're like, man, that's a guy we're going to have to deal with years to come. Like, I remember when the Chiefs got Mahomes, I had their sideline reporter for the Broncos on. He goes, well, the only problem with this is how you kind of felt about Elway, that it was always going to be a problem there at the end. And he says, we know Mahomes isn't going anywhere. He is going to be a problem in this AFC West for a long time to come. So they said that obviously Chris Jones has become that problem for teams in this division as well. But this draft, you're like, man, I can't believe they got him. I just can't believe it. Didn't feel that way with the AFC West.
Well, overall, we'll find out how we all view this draft in a couple of years. But I think it was pretty clear with how a lot of teams navigated it. This was not the best draft by any means, in terms of talent. Like, I think if we fast forward 5 years from now and we say, let's rank the last 10 drafts in terms of talent, I don't think this is anywhere near number 1, number 2, or number 3 in talent heading into the draft. Does it mean that there aren't a Hall of Famer or two in the draft class? Of course not. There absolutely could be a guy. Will be. Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen. But I just mean, to what you're saying, I don't know if in this particular division, how many superstars were drafted this year in the division. And I hope the Chiefs got one in Delane. We'll see. He needs to be certainly one of the best corners. I don't know if that makes him a superstar, but one of the best corners. My thing with Mendoza, and I know the guy hasn't even played a snap in the NFL, so you can say it's unfair. And I don't know why anybody other than the fact that he's on the Raiders now wouldn't root for him. I wish he wasn't on the Raiders because he's an easy guy to root for. Yes, he's goofy and all that. I don't think you're ever going to fear him, though, because he is not going to be anything but maybe best case scenario, the third best quarterback in this division a couple years from now. Like, Mahomes is clearly number 1. Herbert is going to still be 2. Even if they haven't had playoff success, Herbert is still the second best quarterback in this division. Bo Nix elevated last year. Maybe you're not sold on him, so you think Mendoza can pass him.
It's going to take work,
Mendoza can be a starter for the Raiders for 8 years. From 8 years from now, he could still be the starter. I wouldn't doubt that. There's a real chance that happens. He better be if you pick him 1 overall, by the way.
Absolutely.
But I don't think he's ever going to be a top 5, 10 quarterback. Top 10. How about that? He best case scenario, if you're a Raiders fan, honestly, is that he's Derek Carr. And that would mean that he, for 1 year, has a chance to have a top 5 quarterback season. But other than that, he's like the 12th to 15th best quarterback in football. Never the best in his division. And never the guy that you're fearing. And I think Mendoza is going to be a very nice quarterback in this league. The Chiefs do not now have to worry that there's the next Lamar Jackson or Burrow or Allen in their division. That did not happen with the Raiders pick with Mendoza. And so that's why I'm not fearful of him. I think he can be a nice starter for a while, but he's not. And he'll beat the Chiefs at some point, okay? And he's not going to go 0-10 against Kansas City. But he's not someone that you're worried about, to me, bigger picture.
I mean, here's the one thing with the Raiders. I do like Clint Kubiak. It
was a nice hire.
I do, but if he stays. That's the one thing. That's one thing about a Raiders quarterback. When you're changing offensive coordinators all the time, you're changing head coaches. This is a detriment to quarterbacks. So what have we seen with number 1 overall quarterbacks? The coach fired. I mean, in Chicago, happened in Tennessee, or coaches leave. Number 1 picks overall don't have that stability of that head coach and offensive coordinator going forward. They did in Kansas City because it's always been Andy Reid. I mean, he is calling the plays. Whether it's Bieniemy, whether it's Matt Nagy, whether it's anybody, it's still Andy Reid there. Mahomes has had stability with this football team. That was the best thing with him. When you draft a quarterback, you give him that stability. We've seen so many number 1 overall quarterbacks go with this ever-changing new head coach, new system to buy into. Just like, it's what they did in Chicago. I mean, having to get used to a new offensive coordinator / head coach. If they can stay with Kubiak for the long haul with Mendoza, I truly believe in coach-quarterback combinations. And if that can last, that'll make Mendoza work. If he can stay with the head coach that doesn't have 6
What's his
wins and
ceiling
fired
to you,
in 2 years.
Because I think it'll work, as in he'll be a franchise quarterback.
Third best quarterback in the division.
Okay, so
Behind Mahomes and
we're on the
Herbert.
same page. Yeah,
He could be better than Bo Nix.
I think it'll work. He will not be someone that doesn't get a second contract. I think he will, but I don't believe he's ever going to be a guy that's taking your team to a Super Bowl or consistently viewed as a top tier quarterback.
I think his ceiling's Kirk Cousins, a more mobile Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
I mean, Kirk Cousins was considered top 10, so at some point.
That's why I keep saying Derek Carr.
I think he's like Kirk Cousins from the standpoint, and it's not because they're on the same team together. It's just that they're if you surround him with talent, he could be really, really, really good.
I mean, just think of all these quarterbacks: Cam Ward, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, Trevor Lawrence, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, all these, Jared Goff, all these, they had to go deal with different head coaches and offensive coordinators. It sets them back, man, when this happens. I just never understood, a lame duck head coach being there to pick a quarterback so high. It just didn't make sense.
Yeah, that's why Kubiak is a nice little get for them.
Well, here's the deal with Patrick Mahomes. When he was selected, think of Dorsey, is Veach, you think of Andy Reid in the equation. I'm at 100% this was Andy Reid's decision. Once you get the quarterbacks, you bring him in, he picks who the quarterback is. So we can sit here and debate Dorsey making the pick. Andy Reid had 100% sign off on Patrick Mahomes being the quarterback of the Chiefs. And don't forget, when he was drafted that summer, Dorsey got let go. A couple months after the draft, Andy Reid got a new contract. So that's what you do. You tie your quarterback with that head coach because you believe in your head coach, and you let that combination work. It worked here in Kansas City. This has been the problem with a lot of these quarterbacks, just finding the right guy to select. Because you shouldn't be taking a quarterback like that if your coach is a lame duck. They shouldn't have to learn new systems. Shouldn't be that way with number 1 overall picks or quarterbacks that are drafted high. Again, if Kubiak works out for the Raiders, that will help Mendoza. If Kubiak goes out and wins 5 or 6 games and he's run, it sets Mendoza right back to where he was. Now, if it lasts and it's something they can build upon, could work out.
I also don't think he plays to start the season because I don't know. I don't trust the offensive line. I wouldn't want to put him in a situation where.
Yeah, I'll still say Cousins is at least the starter for the first 2 weeks. Yeah. After that, I don't know. But we'll see. I mean, I get it. It's tempting, and you number 1 overall, and you want to start him. To me, you don't sign Kirk Cousins unless you think he's going to start a few games early, because this is not a scenario like I don't buy in that. Oh, Kirk Cousins is your backup option or your safety valve or safety plan in case something goes wrong. If the Raiders were drafting 5th and they weren't sure Mendoza was falling to them, okay, I would buy signing Kirk Cousins and you're just protecting yourself. Mm-hmm. You were drafting 1-1. You knew all offseason you were getting Mendoza. You didn't sign Kirk Cousins just to have him sit on the bench all year. I think eventually he will, but I'd still guess week 1. Thinking of week 1.
You made a good point. The Raiders gave it the most sacks in the NFL last year.
Yeah.
They keep this in mind. 1 pick on the offensive line in the draft. That's it. They picked a center, Trey Zune. That's all they picked. This is giving up the most sacks in the NFL.
We had a guest on from Vegas during draft week, and we asked him about that. And he was right, though, and it ended up happening. He knew the team, of course, very well. And he said he didn't think they were going to address offensive line. And we were like, what? But he clearly knew they weren't. They're banking on some of those guys that they had last year getting better coaching. I think it's a mistake
certainly
potentially.
Didn't work out last year.
I mentioned week 1 and whether or not it'll be Kirk Cousins or Mendoza here in Kansas City. Will it be Patrick Mahomes week 1? Will it be Justin Fields? We got some clarity on timing for the schedule, not necessarily who's going to play, but the NFL schedule release is going to be between Tuesday, May 12th and Thursday, May 14th. So that's Bink. We're only 2 weeks out, my man. 2 weeks out from finding out the primetime games, the exact order, what games could Mahomes possibly not be available.
You get the leaks, you refresh. People, it's a big. Again, I'll go back 10 years ago. This wasn't a big deal at all. We made it a big deal. I remember coming in after
you
Vernon
did a schedule show one time, didn't you?
One time after Vernon or whatever, because it wasn't a big deal. Now you get every morning show on different networks, release that game. The NFL's already been doing it about their international games, and you start piecing it together. But it's just fun, man. It's fun to find out where your team's playing and when they're playing.
It is. I'm glad we find out it's 2 weeks out. And we also will know, I think Clark Hunt spoke a week or so ago, right before the draft, and said that it's, 50-50 shot that the Chiefs get the Spain game against the Falcons. Remember, they're the road team. So it's more about Atlanta than Kansas City. But could the Chiefs play in Madrid? That's still in play if the schedule making works out that way. And I think this year's release will be way more interesting than ever because of the Mahomes part of it.
They're going to have a Christmas Day game. They get locked in on that.
Yeah, it's not even.
It looks like that's a trend now.
It's not even. Yeah, they want to be on Christmas Day. My guess is they will be on Christmas Day again. Unfortunately, will they be on that Wednesday night Thanksgiving Eve game? But I think it's more intriguing.
Which
more
is crazy
so,
because you have Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, Wednesday Night Football, 3 games on Thursday, 2 games on Black Friday. It looks like and then Sunday. It's going to be a crazy week of football.
I think it'll be more interesting though, Bink, because of the Mahomes part, right? Week 1, are they playing, Denver? Are they playing the Jets? Or are they playing the Cardinals? Are they playing the Bengals? Like, there's a big difference between those opponents if it's week 1 or week 2. Now, I hope Mahomes just plays week 1 and it ultimately doesn't matter. But heck, even if Mahomes does play week 1, I still wouldn't mind a little ease into it. Week 1, when Mahomes is clearly still not going to be 100% Patrick Mahomes, back to everything, comfortable and everything.
A lot of Ken Walker.
I would rather them play the Raiders than the Broncos week 1.
Sure.
Now, I don't know if the schedule gods will work in their favor that way. Because of the primetime component, there's a chance it does indirectly. Like, the league is not allowed or supposed to be able to say, oh, we're going to make your schedule easy week 1 or not easy. But what they can do is say, your primetime games, which likely are your tougher opponents, we can save those for TV partners. That'll be the way that they can protect the Chiefs without protecting the Chiefs.
Yeah, and I think they'll look at the Chiefs are 4 of the top 5 highest-rated games last year. Despite just winning 6 games, they're thinking money, money, money. As the Chiefs have been the guinea pig for all for Netflix, Peacock, Amazon, you name it. Chiefs have been the first game for. I mean, they have been the one that people want. Again, 4 of the top 5 highest-rated games. The highest-rated game ever in the history of the NFL regular season. They played the Cowboys. The Chiefs are gold to the NFL on TV ratings. So I wouldn't be surprised with anything with the Kansas City Chiefs.
We'll find out Tuesday, May 12th through Thursday the 14th. Usually what they do is they'll announce some of the games. The Tuesday it'll leak out, and then ultimately Thursday night will be the official schedule. But a lot of it gets leaked out before we get to Thursday night.
It's just fun, man. I mean, the schedule release is fun. The NFL's found a way to literally make every month something.
I think, obviously, if you're listening, you can tell Bink is filling in for Cody today. I think Cody's going to be jealous of one of the Chiefs draft picks. We saw this yesterday, and I teased it at the end of the show. I wanted to make sure Cody did not hear it while he was here. I want him to
Do you think he's heard it?
I think he has now, maybe. I want him to be reacting to it when he comes back on Monday. Knowing Cody, he's not going to like this. Peter Woods, defensive lineman, 29th overall pick. A man of many talents, it turns out. He was on with Kay Adams yesterday morning, and he can sing, it turns out. Like, pretty damn good. This is not good for Cody.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
How awesome is that? That's the Chiefs' 29th overall pick, Peter Woods, singing on Kay Adams' show yesterday. I think they said he's the son of a minister, if I'm not mistaken. And so he was talking a lot about that as well during his interview. That was awesome. Cody trying to sing Amazing Grace would be something.
Well, he's technically not able to because he can't do any songs. So
he's not. Maybe we would make it an exception if he. It depends how he reacts, Drew. When he comes back,
use a different voice?
If Cody comes back Monday and claims that it wasn't good from Peter Woods or something like that,
and he thinks he can do better.
Then I'll let him sing because I know he's not singing Amazing Grace better than what we just heard from Peter Woods.
Yeah. There's
no chance.
No chance.
Surprised Cody hasn't called in.
Cody have another song? You know he's going to try to redo this.
My guess is on Monday he's going to say, "Look, I can do it," and he's gonna have a song ready or that song ready to sing live. Because I will say that's the other thing. This wasn't recorded. Peter Woods did that live in the interview with Kay Adams. That was
Peter Woods needs to join you guys for sure. This is a guarantee now that he needs to be on your show.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, that actually
have Peter
would be...
sing and then have Cody sing as well, so they could have a sing off together.
I don't know if Jay Binkley's brother texting in. I can give 2 you know what's about how he sings. He better be able to play defensive tackle.
That's right.
Yeah, God forbid us have a little bit of fun talking about the personality of a football player. In, I don't know, checks notes, April 30th, it's going to be okay. No kidding, he has to play defensive tackle. Nobody is suggesting that.
You sing right back to the huddle.
Nobody's saying that, wow, he can sing. It doesn't matter what he does on the football field. It's okay to have a little bit of fun. It's okay for the players to show their personality. It's going to be all right.
That person probably gets ticked off when they see.
I can promise you that, trust me, we will not judge the draft pick on singing versus performance on the field.
That person probably gets mad when they see Patrick Mahomes golfing. No, man, I don't care how you golf.
Exactly.
Get in the film. I need you to get. I need you to get better.
Relax. It's gonna be all right. Is that your brother texting in, Bink?
No.
Is that something you would say, Bink?
No, probably not. I don't.
Back in the day, you might have. You've changed. Back in the day, I think that might have been you texting in. You might have been texting in.
It might have been arm length or something.
Right.
Oh, it's great, guys. But you look at his arms.
You do that now.
His arms aren't the longest.
It makes you jump off sides, Bink.
But it's different positions, so it's fine.
Someone says, did I just hit the text where the checks notes? I did, yes. Yes, I did. That did happen.
Checks notes. If they would have got
checks the bottom right hand of the computer screen. Didn't sound as good as check notes. So
I mean, just imagine. You're a salesman. You're a heck of a trombone player, and you're in a band.
Why a trombone?
And I don't know. I just randomly picked
trombone.
Something. You are a salesman, but you're a heck of a trombone player. And your boss says, I could give a what that you can play the trombone well. You better sit. You better make this sale. You better make this sale.
Should.
It's the same concept.
Man,
get out of here.
Can you imagine how the
Let
Chiefs
people enjoy what they want to enjoy?
Can you imagine how they drafted Christian Miller? Because Christian Miller is known for, he's the defensive tackle of Georgia.
Okay.
He's big in the music. He's the guy that we mocked several times. Because he's known for.
You mocked him about his singing?
No, it wasn't the singing. It was about football at that
point. But you said you mocked him.
I'm surprised.
Why would you mock him about his singing?
I didn't mock him about his singing, but Cody would have loved Christian Miller.
Is it singing or is it? Does he like make music? Do you know more about this? It sounds like you've done.
No, he went to
done some digging.
No, I can't sing at all.
No, it sounds like you've done digging on Christian Miller. Is what I'm saying.
Well,
Do you know
yeah,
what music he does? Like what music he does?
Pick? I mean,
I'm saying, do you know what music he does? Or like, does he make music? Does he play? Does he do the piano? Does he
sings?
Does he rap? Does he sing? Okay,
he sings.
All right.
He wants to sing. That's what he wants to do.
There you go.
That same texture also probably got mad when Travis Kelce was doing the Christmas album with his brother.
That's true.
You know,
that
was
doing
probably
that.
the same thing.
That's why they lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah, heaven forbid your star tight end has some fun.
Mm-hmm. By the way, the Chiefs Red Half Hour brought to you by Leavenworth PD. Be a cop, be yourself, build your career at Leavenworth PD. Apply today at leavenworthks.gov/police. Up next, we get to what's trending, and then right back into the Royals. Four-game winning streak, is snapped. How do they avoid it becoming a losing streak? And something the Big 12 has agreed to do, I think, is very dangerous for the conference's future. We'll explain that next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Cole Reagans, and you're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. If you have breast, head and neck, or brain cancer, proton therapy may be a better treatment than conventional radiation. Don't wait. Get your second opinion at Kansas City Proton Institute. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced proton therapy team. Learn more at kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out,
leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Think about this. At some point, you stopped calling it pain and started calling it just how I am now. You started mapping out routes to avoid stairs or looking for the closest chair before you even enter the room. And that's not okay. And deep down, you know it. I want to see you get back to being you, the active, carefree version that doesn't think twice about a round of golf or a morning run. I've seen what QC Kinetics can do, and their regenerative treatments are the real deal. They're helping people right here in KC find long-lasting relief from arthritis and old injuries. We're talking about your knees, shoulders, and lower back, recovered without surgery or months in a recliner. The science is real, the treatments are natural, and your body actually knows how to heal. QC Kinetics just gives it the right tools to do it. So don't wait. Get that free consultation today. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Off 435 in State Line or in Gladstone. 816-412-6299. It's QC Kinetics.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Range Bait with Dusty Likens is now up on the Fan's YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter channels. 96.5 The Fan.
20 through 22, returning to sign a one-year deal with the Ravens per a source. He'll turn 40 years old on September 1st. It's not like he is still a productive player. Wanted him a lot more around the trade deadline when the Chiefs were kind of quasi still in it at that point last year. But yeah, I mean, he's 40, but don't look at him like he's 40.
Adam Schefter reporting that he was on the list of veteran defense, and he's been productive, but you're still talking about bringing in a 40-year-old football player, and at some point he will hit a wall for his sake. Hope it's not this year. For the Chiefs' sake, I hope it is, because he's on the Baltimore Ravens, who are trying to bolster that defense. They got a defensive-minded head coach now there, in Jesse Minter, who, of course, got hired after they moved on from Harbaugh. But Calais Campbell signing with the Ravens. Elsewhere on What's Trending, staying in that division, according to Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com, Deshaun Watson has the upper hand over Shedeur Sanders in the inside track to the starting job after the team's first voluntary minicamp, where he got the lion's share of. We've been talking about this for a few weeks. There's a real chance, and it sounds now like even more likely, that doesn't mean he'll play all year. He could lose the job again, because remember, the last time he played, he stunk, absolutely stunk. But he's still making all the money. It's not like Shedeur Sanders lit the world on fire either. So I think Deshaun Watson could be starting week 1 for the Cleveland Browns. 30-year-old Deshaun Watson now, by the way.
I think he could. I love their draft. I like some of the pieces that they did to get 2 nice receivers in this draft.
Drafts,
and back-to-back 2 good running backs in the draft before. But they need to say things like this.
Todd Monken.
Because if they do want to trade him, if they can, it's going to be very hard to do. But you got to say these kind of things out front. So I 100% understand while they're saying what they're saying. NBA playoffs continue. We could have 3 series wrapped up tonight. As a matter of fact, it's real close. There's 3-3-2 games. Knicks, Hawks, Celtics, Sixers, Nuggets, Timberwolves. All these series are 3-2. The Stanley Cup's been fun to watch as well. Both of them have been fun to watch, but 3 series that could end up tonight.
I think Denver's going to force a Game 7. I think Denver's going to win tonight, force a Game 7 with Anthony Edwards being out, and so we talked about this 2 days ago. I thought the Timberwolves needed to win the other night to just wrap it up. The longer it lingered now with the Anthony Edwards thing, I think the Nuggets are going to get this to a Game 7. I think Philly, though, does wrap up tonight. And then I'm not really sure on this Knicks-Hawks game. I think it's a little bit more of a coin flip.
Well, Boston leads that series, though, so they'd be tied. If Philly wins, so it's going to 7.
Oh, sorry. I said it backwards. My apologies. I thought I said Boston. I said it backwards, if that's the case. I didn't mean to say that.
You meant you think Boston wins the series tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, Boston winning it.
Correct. I said it backwards. Also, after last night, too, we know on Friday we're going to have a couple really interesting games with the Lakers and Rockets. The Rockets did win yesterday against LeBron and company, 99-93. We saw the Cavs take down the Raptors, and we also saw Detroit defeat the Orlando Magic. Lastly, on what's trending, also the Stanley Cup. When I walked in the building today, the first thing Bink mentioned to me is, "Did you stay up till 1:30 in the morning to watch the hockey game?" I said, "Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I did not." And
we
you
had
were
5
watching
straight games, good overtime.
You're watching
with days. I mean,
you were watching the Utah game. Is that right?
The Mammoth and the Golden Knights goes to 2 overtimes. This game got done at 1:18 Central. So almost 2:18 on the East Coast. It was one of those games just kept going. And, of course, the Canadian Lightning that had a great game early on is Montreal now leads that series 3-2. And then the Penguins Flyers, when you're sitting there 2-2 and it's a scoreless game, I mean, it gets pretty intense. So you guys don't want to kind of be that guy to be the one that they lost. But Philadelphia ends up getting the win over the Penguins. A fun series interstate like that. But the Flyers they won the series, actually. They actually won the series over the Penguins.
Tonight, it is Game 6 between the Dallas Stars, Minnesota Wild, and also the late one tonight, Oilers and Ducks. Anaheim leads that one 3-2. That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, trusted in Kansas City since 1994. One contractor, all things parking lot. Alex Gold, Drew Nixon, Jay Binkley filling in for Cody today and tomorrow. In 1 hour from now, we're going to hand things off to Josh Vernier for his On Deck show. We'll also talk some Royals baseball right now because, look, nobody thought they were going to win 15 games in a row. They were going to lose a game again. So this is not me overreacting to a loss last night. It's going to happen. But now that the 4-game winning streak is snapped and you're taking on an A's team that's in first in the AL West before you go to Seattle tomorrow, I want to see how they bounce back after a loss because they're playing better baseball, and the bullpen has been better. Yesterday, Michael Walker didn't have his best stuff. The offense certainly did not look like the offense that had played the first 6 games, the past 6 games, I'm sorry. And so the question is, how do they handle the first loss that might become a losing streak if they lose today? So one, I would like them to just win the series, of course, and can keep the momentum. But if they were to lose today, then you go into Seattle series and all the good momentum you build up is in danger of going away. It sounds so simple, like, oh, they win another 3 in a row. All of a sudden, they're 2 games under 500 or 3 under 500. But the same thing applies. They lose again today. Well, a lot of the ground you made up, you're right back in that same spot. So I think today's a big one for them with Noah Cameron on the mound. Win this series against the A's. Keep this thing going because people are waiting to say, all right, you beat the Angels. Now you're playing a first-place team. Like, oh, of course you couldn't win that series. I think they need to win a series against a team that is in first place, and that would be the A's, and they can do that today.
You don't want to take 2 steps forward, then 2 steps back. It's pushed right back where you started. Right. But winning 4 in a row, because keep in mind, since April 20th, I was sitting, Nick Cable, the Royals, put it out there. Granted, that's not a long sample size. It's the 20th. It's 10-game sample size. But they've been one of the best, if not the best team in baseball in a lot of different categories during that stretch. They've been hitting well. Of course, the starting pitching has looked good. They've been everything that you want to see. So, yeah, in mid-July, you look back, you don't want to say, hey, man, remember those 3 games they won against the Angels? Then they lost 2 out of 3 to the A's. Then they lost 2 out of 3 to Seattle. You don't want that, man. You win 2 out of 3 against Oakland, or not Oakland, Sacramento now, whatever they are. And then the Angels, coming off the Angels, to take that momentum to Seattle. Seattle's not exactly world beaters right now either. They're second in that division behind the A's, but still, it's a very good baseball team. So you're playing back-to-back good baseball teams, and you can find a way to win these series. Not sweep, just win these series against Sacramento than against Seattle. I think you look at this team completely different, that maybe they have turned that corner. But you lose 2 out of 3 to the A's, and all of a sudden you're sitting here going, well, was it really – I mean, that one win against the A's was impressive, but you beat the Angels. I don't know if you watched it. The Angels suck. I mean, they were just, seriously, defensively, they were just a bad team. That was a bad Now, they have some good talent. I get it. They have some good talent. Mike Trout, is an incredible player. But you watch the Angels, that was a bad team.
Oh, I would agree. That was the response from a lot of people.
2 good teams, that's good.
After they beat the Angels, people are like, well, do it against blank team. So that's why this series against the A's is significant, because nobody can, if they win the series against a first place team, then you can't say they only are beating bad teams. And so that's why today's big. But I really just want to see how they respond to a loss or 2. If it becomes 2, like spoiler, they're going to lose 2 or 3 in a row again. Like that's going to happen. It's a long baseball season. This is not me suggesting that they can't ever lose 2 or 3 games in a row again. But they have dug themselves a hole where they certainly can't afford another 4, 5, 6 game losing streak. That's where they have put themselves. Until they get back to 500, they cannot have a losing streak of 4 or 5 games. And so they've lost 1. Today they try to salvage it. Huge week next week with the Guardians in for 4 and the Tigers in for 3, I think it is, right after that.
Yeah. Well, you just don't want the Angels to be that barometer that, hey, we swept the Angels.
Yeah.
Because you know what the Angels did? Once they left Kansas City, they were swept by the White Sox.
Were they?
You don't get swept by the White Sox. I get it. The White Sox are getting better, but they were swept by them. Now they play the Mets. So who knows what's going to happen? They could get swept by the Mets the way that the Angels are playing. They have a 12-win team.
Not like the Mets are playing.
It's not a great team, but
baseball.
The Mets are the worst team in baseball right now.
But the A's
stink.
But again, if the Angels could lose it to them, who knows? I mean, they're playing terrible baseball.
It's baseball. Again, the team sucks. You can win 100 games and you still lose 62.
But the A's do not suck. The Mariners do not suck. The Angels did.
Yeah.
I also wait laughing for. It's a bad team.
Because I picture you watching these games. This team sucks.
I said it several times watching the Angels trying to throw the ball just to a fielder from the outfield. I was like, man, this team really sucks. They did,
just
man.
The way, I don't know what it is.
No, the Angels do. That's a ton of suck.
What did you call the White Sox last year?
The booty call.
That's right.
But they're not the booty call anymore. Yeah. The Angels might be.
Somebody really mad at you?
Yeah, people got very upset.
Yeah, people were not happy with you calling them that.
But they're not. I said they've spent the money. I like the direction they're going. They've spent the money. It's not a great team, but they're getting better. So they're not the booty call team anymore. Angels might be.
I also do want to see, though, Bink, this afternoon, and maybe actually I should just refresh my Twitter account here for a second and timeline, but how many games is Vinny going to miss? He's not in the lineup today again. I just saw, so the lineup is out.
The lineup's out.
So I don't think anybody should be surprised that Vinny is going to get at least 3 or 4 games off because of this back injury. How many more is it after that? JJ told us yesterday they don't anticipate an IL stint, but you know how this plays out with a back injury. He could sit out for 4 or 5 games and then, it's not really getting better the way we want it to. We're going to go ahead and put him on the IL. I hope that's not the case, but that also factors into this. I mean, right now you're losing somebody that I understand had not been hitting well to this point, but we all know for this team to get anywhere, Vinny Pasquantino has to hit well. He needs to be in the lineup.
Guy last year, he's got to be.
And so instead, you've got Lane Thomas batting 3rd, Salvi batting 4th, Nick Lofton, of course, going to play in a ton of second base. He's in the lineup today. Marte's playing right field. Cag's not in the lineup today for the Royals. Collins playing in left. Diaz behind the plate.
It's a bit of a head scratcher, though.
Day game, so Diaz is behind the plate while Salvi plays first.
Doesn't Cags get to a point where it's like every day?
I think fans want that. Clearly they're not as an organization there yet. He needs to get to that point eventually. They're not there yet.
I love
April
every day
30th.
you look at the lineup. Cags.
I agree. Oh, I totally am with you. I think by how things played out on opening day, it was clear they're not ready to do that yet. But I'm with you. At some point, he absolutely should just be in the lineup.
I just know sometimes you look at matchups like Framber Valdez. That was the one, the lefty with Detroit.
Well, Chris Sale was the one too.
And the one thing too is you look at. I was listening. And I was like, okay, let's look at Valdez's career, and it was 230 against righties, 227 against lefties. It was like that close between the two. I just want to get to the point where Cags is that
I'm with you
permanently in there.
I think you can come up. I'm with you fundamentally that yes.
Yeah, but it's a lineup.
People would say he struck
out.
He struck out 3 times in the last couple of games. But I hope we get to a point. Certainly in his career we will. I'm talking about hopefully this year we get to a point where no, he's just in the lineup.
Well, it sucks about Vinny because he's so close to that just being switched, man. to being back to that Vinny we saw last year. You know what I'm saying? Don't you feel like it was starting to evolve
Yeah, I mean,
a
someone
little bit
texted in.
with
They
Vinny?
said Vinny was on deck after Cags in the 9th last night as far as him being okay. Well, he's not in the lineup today. So clearly, I mean, clearly they're still babying the back right now because otherwise, why would Vinny Pasquantino not be in the lineup? I think it's very clear that it's still a back thing for him. Do they want him DHing right now, playing first base is a whole different story. So maybe it's a scenario where Vinny gets back tomorrow or something, Bink, but he's DHing. He's not playing first yet because you don't want him stretching that back out yet. I don't know, right? We'll see how it plays out. I'm sure Vern will have more on that during the On Deck show. But the lineup is out, and yes, no Cags, no Vinny in the lineup today, both for different reasons. But
Well, Springs being a lefty, who knows if that's part of the equation
yeah,
for Sacramento. It's weird calling them Sacramento. They've been playing out there, so getting used to it.
yeah, I get it.
We're gonna switch to Vegas soon.
People keep texting in. He was going to pinch it for Jack. I understand that. He's not in the lineup today, though. So clearly, there's still. If his back was fine, he'd be in the lineup. He's not in the lineup. So yes, he was on the on deck circle last night. But
That's one of those baseball.
if everything was
injuries
fine, he'd
yeah.
be in the lineup today. Who knows? Did it stiffen up or tighten up overnight? Who knows?
He could, but man, I just feel that Vinny was getting so close to that switch, weren't you? Just
Well,
really hope this limited deal.
He's had bad Aprils before, and May usually is when he turns it on. So hopefully it's just a couple-day thing, and he's back in the lineup. We will certainly hear from Vern coming up in just a bit. Let's pivot a little bit, though, Bink, to the Big 12. They announced yesterday they approved a private capital deal with Redbird, according to Ross Dellinger. So schools in the Big 12 are going to have the chance to opt in for a capital credit line of $30 million apiece. You know I like Brett Yormark, the commissioner. I think
First commissioner to do this.
He's aggressive about everything he does, and the Big 12 has had to be aggressive given the status of college athletics and where the competition is and trying to survive. There's a lot of people didn't think the Big 12 would still be standing today in 2026. I think this is really dangerous territory, though, and there's a fine line for the conference and mainly for these schools. One, I'll be curious, does KU or K-State opt in for the $30 million credit line? And yes, Redbird, this private equity firm, may not technically be getting equity in these schools' athletic departments or anything yet. But what happens when you take a line of credit out? Let's say it's for $15 million of the $30 million, just for the sake of the argument.
Then all of a sudden they own 20%.
Well, no. Just because you take out the credit line, they don't own equity in you. I'm saying you take the line of credit, they still don't own equity in you, but you're struggling as a program financially in 3 years. Then they have the leverage on you to then have to offer up equity in said athletic program. That's my biggest concern with any school that takes this moving forward. And they won't be the other.
It's also banking on new TV deals. So these schools are going to be looking at. That's the dangerous part when you're banking on getting the television deals, and now with the streamers all involved. Like Duke today just signed a deal with Amazon for 3 games.
Yeah, I saw that.
The first team to kind of do that. So they're banking on television revenues to come through, and in your perspective, we'll have the money coming back. That's the dangerous part. When you start counting on money you're going to have coming back when you don't have it yet. And that's the part you don't want to see schools get to.
Schools can opt in for $30 million in capital. Leagues get at least the league gets at least $12.5 million as part of this, what they're calling strategic partnership together. So this was approved by the presidents and chancellors. It's a 5-year agreement. This happened last week, but it got announced yesterday. And this is something that the Big Ten has, as we said, talked about a little bit. I just wonder how many schools are going to do it. Yeah, Utah did their own separate thing.
And I'm curious because with the conference thing and everything having a separate thing, I'm wondering how that kind of falls into it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Apparently, so they're able to do both.
Okay, they can't do it. But do you see this as a
they're allowed to
precursor?
do both.
You see this as a precursor? I mean, college football is already turning into pro sports right now with nil name, image, and likeness that came out. This is just the next step because everybody wants to own these programs now. This is where the universities are now becoming professional organizations, especially wouldn't you agree? When you reach these kind of agreements? I mean, this is the first step to where they become more professional. They're so close to professional teams at this point. This makes it even closer.
This is like the second step, though, with even the firm they're using and partnering with Redbird. They have already, according to the Iowa Sports article, helped funnel $130 million worth of revenue to the Big 12. But over the next couple of years, they have been putting money for like the players era tournament, the basketball tournament that was in Vegas, and it's growing again this year, where there was NIL money involved. They're one of the big backers of that, and they've been using that in a different realm. This is, of course, more of an exclusive partnership. I just want to know how many schools in the Big 12 are going to opt in, and here locally, right, K-State or KU. In this article, it says that the conference believes that as few as 2 as many as a half dozen will actually take the money. So they don't think that many schools are doing it.
I think Iowa State
they're in big
is
trouble.
probably going to take the money, and they might just be like, we're just going to sell the soul, and hopefully it works out for us. Because if not, we're toast anyways because of the.
But as Alex says,
you
you come dangerously close to selling your program.
Well, no, I agree with that. And as soon if we're selling programs to investors, like individual programs, like I own this team, it's no longer college football.
It's kind of what Utah did.
Yeah, but it's. I know it's
the big concern with the private equity would be what we've seen happen outside of sports would just be like after let's say eventually it gets to the point where they do own a percentage of your athletic department or football program or whatever. As you know, like once the money, let's say it's you have a bad 5-year stretch, whether it's because of TV dollars, whether it's the economy, whether it's your team sucks for 5 years and revenue's down, whatever it might be, ticket sales are down, et cetera. Well, those firms like they're going to say, oh well, you got to make cuts somewhere. And so what are they cutting? Are they cutting coaching salary? Are they cutting programs? Are they cutting like that's the danger.
We're already at that point where tennis programs are getting
They are
cut.
Well, it's kind of like the athletic director becomes beholden to them.
Well,
they're not supposed to have
exactly.
they're not supposed to have the decision making, within schools and ADs and stuff like this.
That's
but
what
you
they
can
say.
guarantee,
That's what they say.
But it's getting there to where they have the decision making.
I mean, if they're losing money on it, then yeah, they're going to start
100%. Yes.
Then that's
quite honestly. I hope KU as a KU alum, I hope they don't have to go for the credit line of $30 million. And again, the article says that it might be one or two schools that do it,
but somebody will.
Yeah, eventually I think it'll be more than one or two down the road. And the Big 12, now that they have broken the seal, so to speak, on this, the Big 10, maybe the SEC will say, oh, we don't do that. But
the SEC is just like the Big 10. They've looked into it.
But
they haven't done it yet.
Can you imagine the money, though, with the SEC? You think of the Big 12 money, $30 million becomes $90 million in credit.
I understand that, but just hearing the word credit makes you almost cringe a little bit because it's like, well,
hearing private equity,
hearing credit in private equity, that just it should make you cringe a little bit because of all of the bad things that can happen. Like Bink, and you covered the sport for a long time. It would be if private equity is in college football all across, all across the board. It's not just one program. It's not just one conference. If it's everywhere, it can single-handedly destroy the sport.
No, it can't because then
down 20 years, private equity down the line could single-handedly destroy college football
100%.
By itself.
Then you're getting credit line increases for your name, image, and likeness to bring in players just to prove that your program can play good. Then all of a sudden, these private equities had decision-making powers within your organization, like your AD. Like normally you go to your donors and the board of trustees to select the AD. Well, now the private equity company is in there with a larger stake in the say-so of who your AD is. And then all of a sudden you have people running the athletic program, the department that aren't even part of the university.
Well, and now especially we're running into with name, image, and likeness. It's not name, image, and likeness. I know that it's called that, but it's pay for play.
It's 100%.
What we're running into now, I think, is where if you are if an athlete is sponsored by somebody, let's say, I don't know, the highest, who?
Chili's. I was doing a host of her.
Well, no, so let's say that, I don't know, the next quarterback, the top quarterback in the country for next year is sponsored by Raising Cane's, Nike, and somebody else.
Chili's.
It shouldn't matter where they go. That's their name, image. Their name, image, likeness is them. It's not this quarterback here, which is where we've gotten into this deal where, well, and that's where I think the disparity for people saying with name, image, and likeness and contracts, name, image, and likeness is like the golf endorsement sort of thing. It's not supposed to be for them playing at a certain place or them playing well. That's where the actual salary comes in.
But as you know, Drew, let's say I think we've had this discussion on air before. Let's say for the sake of argument, I have no idea if the founder. Let's say Let's say the Raising Cane's founder is a Kansas grad. He's not, but let's just say that.
Sure.
He's more likely to give the endorsement deal to the quarterback that he would get to go to Kansas, right? Like you know this happens all the time. Tyson Chicken with Arkansas, right? You're right that they are not supposed to do that, but Tyson Chicken might be willing to give an NIL deal to that running back or wide receiver because he knows that it's more likely he's coming to Arkansas.
Yeah, but I think for a brand like that, you shouldn't have to do that for you to sign the deal with them. If it's AJ DeBonsa, if Tyron Stokes, if you're raising Canes and it's like, well, we would sponsor Tyron Stokes, but we don't want him wearing our stuff and doing things for us because he's not going here.
Look at
That's
BYU
insanity
with
to me
the
because if the player is good enough, you're sponsoring the player. If the player is good enough, it's the player. You're not like Arch Manning is Arch Manning. It's not Arch Manning at Texas. If you think the Arch Manning is that dude, then it shouldn't matter where he goes.
That's not how
if you
these
think
founders.
Arch Manning is going to bring you more money and bring you. It doesn't matter where he goes, if it's Arch Manning or if it's AJ DeBonsa going to BYU instead of Duke. Like if he's that good and he's wearing your merch and he's wearing your hat and he's wearing your shoes, then it doesn't matter about where he goes to school. It's AJ DeBonsa, #1 overall pick, is wearing my stuff. It's not AJ DeBonsa at BYU is wearing my stuff. He's wearing.
I hear you. It sounds like I hear you. Trust me. Like that's what like in this scenario like should be happening. But I mean, I could list off 20 examples though of people that are big boosters and alums and that own corporations, and they're not going to pay somebody to go. For example, if I owned some big time retail store and I was able to pay money for the top player in the country to have an endorsement deal with my company, but he's going to play basketball at Kentucky.
It shouldn't matter.
But I'm telling you it does.
But then it's not name, image, and likeness then.
Fine. We can call it whatever we want, but it's happening.
So and that's where I think that's why the contract stuff would solve everything. That's why the concept of name, image, and likeness.
Absolutely.
That's why name, image, and likeness itself hasn't destroyed college sports. It's the lack of it's the veil that has been covered up essentially where we're not allowed to pay athletes. I think paying athletes is really bad. Like I think a lot of people would say like all the same people who are like, well, it's a name, image, and likeness deal. They would also on the flip side say we don't want to pay the athletes to go to school here. That's not what's happening. Where it is, and we just need to call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? I think that's
so
the
your
big
issue is more of
it.
like you just don't like that people are assuming it's that. You understand that's happening
because it's not that. Like if you want to say, hey, we're paying AJ DeBonsa to play at BYU, great. But I think that the contract stuff also solves where name, image, and likeness can come from anywhere, as it should, because name, image, and likeness is an endorsement. That's what it's supposed to be. It can come from anywhere.
Yeah.
But if you're BYU, that's why the schools themselves getting money to pay the players separate salaries is the solution to the problem because they're going to make the bulk of their money from endorsements where it doesn't matter where the money comes from. They'll make some money from, i.e. the scholarship plus whatever stipend you want to give them, whatever it is. You get that from the school. If KU wants to pay Tyron Stokes, great, he'll go there. And then Tyron Stokes can make as much money as he wants to. Tiger Woods makes way less money from playing golf than he does from
golf's an individual sport, not a team sport, though. But I hear you. It's a little bit it's similar, but also a little bit different. Again, the Crumble CEO,
but an NIL deal is an individual.
But I still think some companies are going to show allegiance. Like, yes, Coca-Cola is not going to be specifically only signing athletes that are going to the same school his daughter goes to or something, okay? But, like, you know, if I'm the founder of Crumble Cookie, who's a BYU grad, and I want to keep my head coach or I want to get AJ DeBonsa, I'm willing to do an NIL deal for that school, not for Kansas.
But it's not an NIL deal.
It is right now. Right now it is.
Which is what I'm saying. The problem is, which is why college sports is in this entire.
And I'm still not sure it'll completely solve the problem though, because I still think there will be somebody that runs a company that's even if the player has their own separate contract, he still is going to be more likely to sign an NIL deal with a player that's going to his school that who he is an alum from, right? Like there's going to be some of that. I don't think every company will be, but there are definitely going to be local business owners that are only going to, that even if they're bigger companies, will only give money to a guy that's going to their school, not their rival school. Like
you could also argue that's a bad business investment because if you can say AJ DeBonsa,
I think so. In some cases, absolutely.
If you're Crumble Cookies, but Tyron Stokes is going to KU, but Tyron Stokes loves Crumble Cookies, you should pay Tyron Stokes to. You should pay him to do a video with Crumble Cookies. You know, it would make sense for you to have the #1 recruit in the country doing your stuff regardless of where he's at.
Yeah, but you and I both know that's not how a lot of the college athletic money works. People, you know, the person that is sponsoring stuff at Kansas is also probably because they like the university. It's not just for their business. It's a combination of both. Like, yes, there's a financial benefit, but people donate money or sign marketing deals with companies all the time because they're friends with somebody and they want to help out their buddy. Like it is business, but it is also relationship and that you have built with certain individuals and businesses.
Yeah, and this falls into the whole thing, the greed for money and everything else like that, where nobody cares about what it's supposed to be. They will lie to your face and make you believe it's something when it's not that.
All right, up next, let's get back to the NFL a little bit, guys, and we'll hand things off to Vern at 1 o'clock. How many starters out of this NFL draft for the Chiefs by 2027? And a listener texted us a random question of the day. We'll actually use this question next.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Well, if you follow me on Twitter or X, if you saw the video last night, I was talking about the Shawnee Mission Ford vehicle I'm driving right now. That, of course, is the 2026 Ford Mustang Mach-E. One of the hidden features, I actually think it's one of the coolest features in this vehicle, is the electric seamless door that opens up. It sounds very simple, and you're like, what are you talking about? Not some clunky door handle. You literally just push a button with your finger, and the door slightly pops open, and it's smooth. It makes the vehicle look even sleeker from the outside, so you don't have this gigantic handle or anything like that. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, go to Alex Gold on Twitter or go to @AlexKCGold over on Instagram, and you can check that out. I love driving the Mach-E from Shawnee Mission Ford. And if you're looking for a vehicle, maybe it's not an electric vehicle like a Mach-E, they've announced $399 lease payments on Mustang EcoBoost, Bronco Sport Big Bin, the Maverick XLT, $499 lease payments on Mustang GT or the Bronco Big Bin. Get the vehicle of your dreams for only $399 or $499 a month. And on top of that, over at Shawnee Mission Ford, they offer a $500 gas card on those low payments as well. Shawnee Mission Ford is on a mission to do more in 26. $999 down payment plus tax and fees for 36 months and 10,500 miles a year.
DQ presents the $7 Meal Deal, a delicious meal serving up serious value. We're talking 100% white meat, seasoned chicken strips, full-size fries, a drink, and of course, a classic DQ sundae. Because come on, no meal is complete without a sweet treat. All for just $7. And now you can try it with the new honey sriracha dip. The DQ $7 Meal Deal, a satisfying meal full of big flavor for a great value. DQ, happy tastes good.
Call Hamilton today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
License number 2025-11120. At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu, for always trusting Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
Hi, I'm Jacob, your friend and an actual jeweler at Chain Company. I'm proud to work for a family business that's been committed to the highest quality standards for nearly 100 years. Your dream engagement ring is designed for quality every step of the way. We set your diamond by hand, never with machines. Prong tips are beautiful and secure, and intricate details are thoughtfully crafted. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship, because a friend knows true love deserves the highest quality. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
And Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means playing in a football game.
Boom! 42! You're going down, Doug!
Oh, yeah? Your price on car insurance when you customize and save is going down.
Hey!
Limu? What are you doing on their team? Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
In digital advertising, everyone talks about clicks, but clicks don't pay the bills. Sales do. Outcomes from Viant is a new way to advertise that prioritizes your bottom line. Our AI-driven technology looks past the noise to find the customers most likely to buy your product. It's smarter, faster, and designed for real-world results. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
This is Modelo Especial, a full-flavored golden lager with a crisp, refreshing taste from start to finish. Brewed with time, effort, and determination to get the balance just right. Because when a beer is made right, you can feel it. Modelo Especial, the model for everyday beer. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Rob Sight Ford, KC's Ford volume leader and top rated on Google. 135th and State Line. Rob Sight Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, and Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Sight Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Sight Ford.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, back here on Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Drew Nixon, Jay Binkley filling in for Cody. Coming up in 25 minutes, we're handing things off to Vern, his on-deck show. He gets you set for Royals, A's, afternoon baseball, 2:05, first pitch. I think it might be 2:04, whatever. Noah Cameron on the bump here on 96.5, The Fan, as the Royals trying to get a series win.
Well, you have to wait it out because they will not start the game until
I know.
right there.
For TV purposes and stuff
they
like
sit
that.
there and wait,
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Look, these teams, whether it doesn't matter the sport, you know this. You've covered enough of these games in person, Bink. They have a whole schedule of events. The anthem's at 2:01 or whatever. Yeah, everything's planned, man. Everything's planned out.
Planned out.
2:04.
2:04.
So we got some baseball coming up in just a little bit. Did you see Eric Hosmer sent out a tweet? Kind of what we were talking about with the lineup and how it's like, I understand they made this decision early, but with Cags not being in it again today. Eric Hosmer tweeted out, in my humble opinion, there's a guy with a size 17 shoe that the Royals should feature on this post daily. Yeah.
Agree?
Yeah, I would say so.
He's earned enough. Just
But
put him in there.
I'm not. I guess I'm at the point now where I'm not surprised by it, so I don't have the same angry reaction I think that people have. Like, I agree with everybody. Yes, he should be in the lineup every day. I also know that they basically told us on opening day that's not happening yet, and it's still April. But I don't think this should continue much longer.
Is he really a size 17?
Yes.
You've seen
Yeah,
him
I
in
mean,
person.
yeah, I mean,
Massive human
yeah,
being.
he's a big dude. I didn't know.
Massive human being.
How big are your feet, Drew?
I don't wear size 17.
You didn't answer the question.
They 9s, 10s, 8s,
7.5s,
4s.
All right, let's
4s.
Let's not be ridiculous here.
Well, what are they?
10.5.
There you go. What are you? Why? What were you all right over there?
I was just asking him a question.
He just put in a new dip.
Yeah. Well, I thought he'd go expand on it a little more right time. He didn't expand.
You wanted me to answer so you could do that? Okay.
Basically, yes.
Gotcha.
If it's Cody, I'd say, hey, do you mind singing for a minute?
You think that's what I do when I need a breather? I say, just sing. Sing.
You mind cutting some tunes there, Cody?
Anyway, all right, let's talk some football, Bink. Let's talk some football before we get out of here today. And tomorrow we've got plenty more I wanted to get to on the show today. We didn't have time for.
We got to talk horse tomorrow.
Say it again?
Talk horse tomorrow.
Gotcha.
Thank you for the enunciation.
What'd you think I said?
I need you to say it again, Bink.
Well,
I needed you to,
I get it,
I
man.
needed you to say it again, okay? Just for anybody in their car that said, whoa.
I said horse.
Sizz.
Elway, horse, Kentucky
Thank
Derby
you.
horse.
Yes.
I didn't say
horses. Tomorrow we will talk about the Kentucky Derby horses.
Talk
That's right.
horse.
Okay, let's talk football.
Hashtag.
For a bit. The Chiefs, I think very clearly, with the 6th overall pick in Mansour Delane, instant starter, a guy hopefully by the end of the year we're all agreeing he is a top 10, top 5-ish corner in football. That's the high bar. It's a lot of pressure for the kid, but that's the reality of being picked where he's picked. How many starters by, not just this year, because this year I think it's just one, by 2027, how many starters do you think / do they need to have come out of this draft? We all acknowledged it was one of the most important drafts in the Brett Veach era.
I think, 2 to 3, maybe 3 possible with Peter Woods in there and Jaden Kennedy, because I think you're going to see different formation. And keep in mind, when the Chiefs put out their initial depth chart, a lot of times it's a nickel. I mean, it's not like a base defense or anything. It's the nickel. I'd say 3, and that's one thing when you look at the draft, you say, man, they just got a whole bunch of starters. Well, they actually didn't. They had a true one in Mansour Delane. That's your starter. And it should be a starter being a top 10 pick. You shouldn't make any selection. They say, this is our in the first round. Like Peter Woods, still a first rounder because they'll be on a rotation. But that's just what they do. I mean, that's just what Spags is. I don't blame them at all. You go on a rotation, you keep guys fresh, and you rotate in and out with different 3rd and 4s or 3rd and 8s, just different personnel. What you're going to be doing, using the nickel, not using the nickel, doing different things. But defense has been evolving. But a lot of times you look at the draft and say, man, we need to get at least 2 to 3 starters. That's just not possible. I mean, look, like Gelati was the rookie of the year last year for the Chiefs. I mean, you think about rookie classes and how much.
Wasn't that more about the rest of the draft class than anything?
Well, I thought Noah Williams kind of made his case.
But they didn't play him enough to get him there, you know?
But it's the way rookie classes come. They usually find that one diamond in the rough and say, that's the guy. That's the dude. That's the starter for the Kansas City Chiefs. But it's a rotational base, and that's understandable. Yeah, you don't want Delane in a rotation. You want him to be the dude. Kennedy, a lot of snaps. I think the top 2 guys in snaps this year probably will be Delane and Kennedy, to be honest with you, if Kennedy. I know they bring in Kohu and stuff, but just because of the different positions he can play and also on special teams, when you look at total snap counts at the end, it should be a high snap count. But again, said that last year about Noah Williams, and the snap count didn't match the production because I like Noah Williams a ton.
I do think with just the roster makeup this year, they're going to be forced to play some of these guys, younger guys, more than maybe they would have a year or 2 ago, just because of what they're counting on. I think definitively, yes, Delane, week 1, immediate starter. I think R. Mason Thomas, rotational guy in 2026. If all goes well, there's a chance he's a starter in 27. But a lot of that depends on not only his performance, but what does Gelati do? So he might still be a rotating guy.
Gelati is the guy they like.
Woods is, to me, going to be a rotational guy for the first 2 years of his career. Just also by nature of where he plays. I mean, I don't even know, we can use the term starter. It's more about, will his snap percentage increase and keep increasing? Initially, Tonga's going to get more of the snaps than he is, and I'm fine with that, by the way. But fast forward to 27, 28, depending on where Chris Jones is at, you might be needing a lot more from Woods.
But when you hear that heir apparent to Chris Jones, I mean, I can understand the similarities and things like that, but it is difficult to put heir apparent on anybody that's going to be a Hall of Famer. Like it's just not so. Like the next tight end for the Chiefs, heir apparent to try. No, you can't do that yet. You just listen. If Peter Wood gives you, if he's a solid player, that's fine. But the Chris Jones comparison, can he be that? That's too lengthy. It's just different. Chris Jones is the best at what he does. I mean, it's a future Hall of Famer probably. So to put that in, got a Chris Jones replacement, maybe you do, or maybe it's a guy you can slide around the defense line. We don't know yet. The sky's the limit for Peter Woods at this point.
And it makes sense of their first 3 picks. The first 3 picks are the only guys that I think, immediately are going to get massive snaps. I understand what you're saying about nickel packages with the corner.
I think this season Kennedy.
Like Cyrus is not going to play all that much this year. I think he'll make the team, but I don't think he's playing.
How many receivers do you keep? 6 or 7?
We can get to that in a second. Yeah.
Okay.
I was just going to say real quick, and we can get to it. I was going to finish up just Emmett Johnson. He's never going to be a starter for this team. He's going to hopefully eventually evolve into a reliable second running back for this team.
Until Walker's gone.
Yeah, but that's 3 years from now, most likely, right? 3+ years
You
from
hope
now.
it's Emmett Johnson at that point. Again,
But even then, the chances of a guy after 3 years being a number 2 running back becoming the starter.
Well, could it be Charbonnet to Kenneth Walker? 'Cause remember, Charbonnet that was a nice little balance they had there in Seattle, even with Kenneth Walker, because they used Charbonnet a bunch until he got hurt.
Yeah, starter, I guess, yes. If you don't view it the same way. I mean, starting at running back, there's only one starting running back, but I get what you're saying. You were saying about wide receivers, though. How many wide receivers do I think what?
Keep 6 or 7. I think it could be maybe it's 6. I mean, they desperately need it, but when you think about the running backs they might want to keep, you keep 4 on the roster on the 53. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But the locks, you'd have to, Worthy's a lock. Rasheed Rice is a lock. Taquan Thornton's a lock.
I think you can lock in Jalen Royals. I know we didn't see anything, but he's on the team, so there's 4.
There's 4, but it's not a guarantee. Like, we think so.
Okay.
Keep in mind, they backed off Kavarius Russell before he even played.
Well,
he was a
that's
third-round pick.
Outlier of all
I don't
outliers.
think there's any guarantees with 4th-round picks. I just don't. I would like to say it. I think he's got the edge. He's got the upper hand. But there is going to be a big battle, in my opinion, between 3 and 6 or 7 if they keep it. But I think Royals has the battle to stay on this team as well.
I think he's on the team. Now, we can certainly argue about what is he going to do? Is he going to have 200 yards receiving even this year? That's fair.
I just don't think he's earned the lock.
Okay, that's fair. I would say it's an 80% chance that he's on the team.
Sure, that's fair.
Nico Remigio, I would say it's about a 70% chance. They brought him back. They like him as a returner. So that's 5 right there. So then we're really talking about for the 6th or 7th spot, Cyrus Allen and Jason Brownlee. And I know people like the Jeff Caldwell kid. With all due respect to him, he's an undrafted free agent. He's got his work cut out for him.
Justin Ross, baby.
But as you know, this also sorts itself out. Injuries happen.
Heir apparent to Justin Ross.
That's right. Well, we'll do Camp Darlings when we get to St. Joe. I already know Jeff Caldwell will be a Camp Darling candidate.
100%.
He's easily going to be
100%.
Him, Cyrus Allen, the running back we just mentioned. I'm drawing a blank. Emmett Johnson will be a Camp Darling candidate for sure.
It is fascinating.
I don't think Mansour Delane can be a Camp Darling. He's a top 10 pick.
And Jade Nott as well. He's the running back they brought in undrafted free agent. Played with DeMarco Murray at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Keep this in mind. He led the Pac-12 in rushing.
With Cal. I have a random autograph card from him. Don't ask why.
But he played with Mendoza at Cal. But again, that was when USC and Oregon and everybody else was in the Pac-12.
It is funny how it's like clockwork. Every year we look at the undrafted free agents because we're sickos and we just follow the NFL so much that we pay attention to these things. And then you look at his numbers in college, you're like, how did he go undrafted? This guy, surely this guy's going to make the team. He's going to make a difference, and yada, yada, yada. And we convince ourselves that there's going to be a legitimate player that comes in right away and makes a difference when the chances of that happening are like slim to none.
You know what's funny is Cyrus didn't go to the combine, didn't get a combine invite. Caldwell did. And Caldwell wasn't drafted. Allen was, but
it feels like Caldwell's the guy this year.
Cyrus didn't get the combine invite. So it's interesting.
Just wait till he makes a nice catch in training camp. You guys are going to
it's happening.
It's going to be all over.
That's why we created the training camp island. You know, and we're going to do it again and have some fun. We'll have initially 6 or 8 nominees, and we'll whittle down the list and vote people off the island as we broadcast from St. Joe. And you guys can chime in with suggestions.
Are you guys going to do snow cones again?
We can't. I think it's kind of run. That's kind of run its course. Chris Jones stopped stopping by as much, and so. But some players, it depends. The weather last year wasn't as hot, or was 2 years ago, so that also killed it a bit. But they still have it
still hot up there, man.
There was one summer where it was just brutal. We lucked out a couple days last year. Yeah,
still had the rainstorm that always happens.
That is always the worst, where we're up there and it's like 9:15 and we scramble and haul back, and Drew does the first 20 minutes of the show, and it's a mess for everybody. It's a mess when
based on the text line. Hey,
but the reason I bring that up is because I think
that might be the least listened to 20 minutes of the station. Jeez,
no, I listen to it, Drew.
I appreciate you. Mike. I appreciate.
But honestly, I think Brashard Smith, to be honest with you, starts looking at back to wide receiver because that's where he spent 3 years.
You mentioned that on Monday.
But here's the thing, though. He spent 3 years as a receiver at Miami. He's 5'10". And when you look at the running, that probably
he was a 7th-round pick. I mean, no offense.
No, you're right. But I'm saying is a chance to actually make this roster, be in the practice squad or whatever. It might have to be switched back to what he was doing. He did catch 25 passes out of the backfield. I get it, a lot of screens and stuff he caught. But that was his natural position before Rhett Lashley switched him to running back. You look at how busy and full this running. I don't see him getting any snaps at running back this year. I think wide receiver might be his only option because, again, those last three pieces, that's a battle right there. If he can be in, within that, he's got 1 year of NFL experience. I think if he's going to make the team, it will be a receiver, not running back.
Random question.
All right, let's get to a random question before we hand things off to Vern for his on-deck show. Royals baseball against the A's coming up a little after 2 o'clock, at least for first pitch. Random question, 913-586-7965. This one actually comes from a listener. I got a DM on Twitter yesterday, and we said, you know what? It's perfect. Normally, Cody comes up with a random question, and this is a perfect time to take one from a listener. Now, this scenario, maybe you've heard it before, but it's certainly one I definitely got to hear Bink's take on. Random question from a listener. I guess I should get the listener's name and give them some proper credit. This came from, where did I have it? I had it saved on the rundown. I will tell you his name. Tyler. Thank you, Tyler. Here's the question, Bink. You get $1 million, but the thing is there's a snail chasing you for the rest of your life, and if it touches you, you die. The rule is you can't kill it or trap it. Would you do it?
Can't put salt on it either.
Now, the answer is yes, I would do this. You know how slow snails are? Now, there's a lot of questions within the question, right? Is the snail in the same neighborhood as me? Is it at a different state? Is it a different city? Where's the snail starting? The answer is yes. So the snail's so slow. The snail could be in this room right now in the corner. It might take it another 2 hours to get to me. Okay, so the answer is yes. I would be willing to risk the snail
Can you kick it at all if you're not stepping
You
on
can't
it?
kill it or trap it.
Not kill it, but can you scoot
That's
it?
true. Could you kick it? Just kick it away. No, it can't touch you, though, Bink. It can't touch you. You die.
Or you do have to sleep at some point.
Right, but
and at night, that'd be a good time for the snail
I think,
to get
was
you.
it you, Gold, that looked at it, or was it Cody? That I think snails, they said, travel 0.6 miles in a year?
So
is
if
that what it was?
Yeah, so this could take, depending on where you live in town, it could take 20 years to even be able to get to you, and it might die on the way to get to you. You didn't kill it, but it might die. The answer is yes. Give me my $1 million. This is an easy one.
If it was a different animal, then maybe. So,
Like a sloth?
No, that would probably be just the same, I guess. But if it was anything,
If this was
I would say I would
if
do
this
it,
was a rat that was following you around, the answer is no. That thing, absolutely
scarier.
not. A snail? Yeah. I'll risk it for $1 million. It's not catching up to me.
And if you have to move,
I'm pretty slow.
Can I just move to
I move at snail pace.
Bink, if you knew you had $1 million, you could just move to another state. It would never get to you in time, and it would never get to you.
100%.
Somebody asked the question that we also posed.
Or I'd put a snail on a train and say, see it.
What if somebody else kills the snail?
Yeah, can I hire someone to kill the snail for me with $1 million? I can pay them $10,000 or
Can you
$5,000.
salt my snail?
No.
Salt kills a man. You ever salted a snail?
I have not.
That's kidding.
You've never salted a snail?
No. Have you?
Yeah.
And what happened?
It kills it.
Really? Is that a thing?
It slows salting a snail.
What?
Salt takes.
But you can't
salt a snail.
Someone says you're crazy. I wouldn't take the money. You're going to live your whole life worrying about something chasing you. It would drive me insane. I hear you, but if I told you the thing chasing you, unless it would take 20 years, like you would, I think in the scenario, do you know where it's starting is the question. If you don't know where it's starting, I could see that being a little more worrisome.
Well, here's what it says.
But if I'm at a restaurant 10 years down the road,
You're not
it's
worried.
still chasing me. Even if I saw it in the restaurant, Drew, I would just get up and I would walk out and it would take it another 5 years to get to me.
There you go. A quick AR overview. Salt acts as a rapid, fatal being on snails and slugs, causing them to die from extreme dehydration within minutes.
Someone says that
salt is their kryptonite.
What happens if you eat it, though, Gold? Like, if you're at a restaurant and somehow
you eat the snail, well, you're dead. It touches you. You're dead.
That's cardio.
Now,
Even
text
if the
line is
snail itself
claiming
is dead.
the listener that gave us this question left out a bunch of details, and this makes more sense because they said the listener left out the details, which is the snail is immortal. It has access to all modes of transportation that you do.
Ooh.
The snail's driving? The snail's just driving down the
attaches
road?
itself to your car, I guess.
Now, that's different. If the snail is capable of driving a vehicle and tracking me down, it knows at all times where I'm at, then it's a different conversation.
They don't have thumbs.
Then I'm terrified.
They don't have thumbs or feet. They're not driving.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Can you salt my snail?
Someone says
I'm just
Bink is
curious
on to something with the train comment.
Well, can you? I would put the snail on the train and say, "See ya."
You can't touch it. How are you putting it on?
I'd have you do it. Hey, can you put my snail on this train?
3 feet per hour is max speed. I mean,
Or a jet or something. Hey, you mind getting rid of the snail for me?
it would never get to you in time. Like if you would just check around your house before you go to bed, I guess, if it really scares you before every night, and you're fine. It's just not getting to you. It could be in the building right now, and it would downstairs. It would take it, 6 months to get up here.
What if he uses the elevator?
Okay. How's it pressing the button?
It hops on the elevator with somebody else pushing the
But
buttons.
it wouldn't be able to get out of the elevator in time.
What if it's standing right there by the
how
elevator
long it would
edge?
take?
You go into the elevator, you're pushing the buttons, not the snail, because snails don't have thumbs. And he gets on the elevator and rides up it.
Someone says this is all based off the movie It Follows. Great horror movie. Huh. I'll have to maybe watch
Thanks
it.
for the enunciation.
I did that based on what Bink said.
Yeah,
No, seriously.
Text line's convinced.
You sold.
Yeah, text line's convinced Bink did not say horses. So.
I said horses.
No,
Play it again. I said horses.
I didn't have it say
HORSES. Horses.
You didn't say plural though.
I think
which
this
is
is
what the confusion was.
the right
Anyways.
path. Someone said just spend the $1 million and buy a boat, and the snail will never get to you ever.
Yeah, they can't swim, can
I do think the idea.
I guess they said it's immortal, but I don't know.
The idea of leaving. Or of it dying over the course of its own lifespan.
Yeah, it's not living to 20 years.
Yeah,